You're obsessed with horror and assorted dark imagery. Would you ever do an album singing about like puppies and rainbows? Would that ever happen?
Yeah. No, maybe I'll do a real horror record and talk about the Obama administration.
Oh, wow.
As I suspected, 32 flavors.
How's it going, folks? I feel like I have been having fun using that clip lately. It might be my new, well, how Norm Macdonald likes to trash on O.J. Simpson, or did in past tense. Me with Zack Snyder, just Danzig, no, smack talking Barack was pretty great. But hope you're all doing well. Happy to have you all here early. Well, early for a Friday night, because wherever, whenever you are, I see the bodies are piling on in here. I love it. The numbers are just rising to the top. I love it. I see it. I seen it. And let's bring in our dudes as them coming on in here. What's going on, Ironcaster?
I don't know if I remember how to do this. It's been too long.
It has been.
Do I turn a camera on or? We're live.
we did this and we did this live.
We'll do it live.
And here we are. How's it going?
Oh, it is going. Like, I have been in this nice little groove of some good comics, one or two bad ones in there that I'm like, I got talked into the shop. I was at the shop this week, and they got into little people talk about books, and they're like, "Oh, you gotta check out Blood Hunt," and I'm like,
"Oh no, oh no,
all right,
oh no."
Like, the guys, the foot traffic in the shop was like, "No, I'll give it one." This is the first Marvel comic I bought since Conan.
Yeah.
I'm not going back for another issue. Like, I threw that straight in the trash.
I bet. What a waste of a good talent too, because Pepe Larraz is a good talent, and he did Big Game for Mark Miller. And
it's also the fact that this is copying a DC event they just did 2 years ago.
I couldn't even
DC
tell you
versus vampires.
Oh, did they? Oh my god! Oh, I tell you.
You're a straight C student, right? Can I copy your homework?
You're a straight C student. Can I copy your homework? Oh, I love it.
A DC student?
Oh yeah. You crazy, Casser. Just crazy. All right. Well, hey, it's good to have you here. I see Pito says helicopter tours. The Nightwing. Vulcan lives. Christian Doran's Vinyl Reviver, who's been a member for 8 months, says huge 69 Slayer. Thank you, Christian. Hopefully you have a good Friday night. And we have a clobberer himself. And he looks a little bit like Victor Von Doom.
Sorry, I left my old face, the other face on.
I like your current face.
It was doomy. It was doomy.
It's doomy.
well, of course it was that accursed Richards who changed your profile picture.
It was. He's always doing that to me.
Mm-hmm. How you doing, Clobby?
All right, man. How is everybody tonight? Am I doing good, Castor?
Oh, we're by winning. We are by winning. We got Tiger blood in us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had that tiger blood in us. Duh. Winning.
Wow.
It's good to have you here, Clobby.
Thank you, buddy. Good to be here.
And we got Pino Say's Helicopter Tours for $2. Want to mention my Flip City pack came in 3 days. Yes! Oh, that's fantastic news. Shout out to Flip City Magazine. I love hearing that, man. I want to hear your thoughts, whether it's on here or on Gilded. Let me know your thoughts when you read them, dude, because they're fun. They're a very fun time. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. It's good to know people, they come to your show, they discover things that look and sound cool, and they're like, I got to try that out. So I love it. Thank you, Pinochet, for $2, sir. And as we all say and know, Pablo will be here when Pablo is going to be here. But until then, we have the ever so superb D. Bud Martin.
Hey,
Yeah, good evening, guys.
hey, dude. What's up?
Evening to you. Look at that wall of physical
StreamYard.
media on your right. Dude, that is a wall. Wow.
That's a tiny part of my collection.
I like your Emmett Peel mega collection.
Yeah,
You gotta
that's
you
cool.
should post. We have a toys section on the Gilded. You should post that on the stuff on your left, and on our movie section. Assuming that those are movies, the wall on your right. You should post on movies because seriously, that is glorious.
Well, it's not like Tom.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Oh yeah, Tom's wall is nuts.
I'm just trying to figure out on the right side there. That's either an Ultraman or Iron Man collection.
Both.
Oh,
The top shelf is Ultraman's, and the second shelf is Iron Man's. And I'm going to be adding to that at the end of the month. So I'll wait until then before I post some pictures on Gilded. Then
Okay, yeah,
But
no,
which way?
we'd all lose our minds over that.
like I was losing my mind with StreamYards trying to get in here.
Really? Damn.
I tried to log in like 5 minutes before the show started, and it just kept giving me problems. I'm on my camera mic instead of my Yeti because it just wasn't liking it. So don't know why that's happening, but
I'll tell you what, man.
brought some good
Nice.
again.
Let's show off that stellar cover.
It'll be our first issue we're talking about.
Yes, number 45. I like it.
Notice
Dude, look.
little
And look,
Ditko
that's
head up in
one of the last
corner.
ones with the Ditko Spidey on the corner
Yeah.
because it's around 47 or 48 where they finally transitioned to the Romita Spidey
You
corner.
say 48?
What was it? One did 47 had the
It might
maybe it was
have.
47. I think it was 47. I'm
Unfortunately,
actually
I
now
only have
I'm
these
going
two.
to look now because one of them has it, and I know I'm right on one of them.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Okay. We're gonna find out which one it is because I can't know that. 47. It was
Preview
47.
48. Yeah, 47. Yeah.
Okay.
It was right.
It all makes
in this
sense now.
Time period. But yeah, I thought I'd show these guys off since we're talking about these issues.
Yeah, I love that you're showing them off,
And
man.
this one I bought in the early 70s.
Okay.
And it actually has the price I paid for it in pencil on the back.
Nice.
That's how they used. This is before they had bags and boards and stickers and all that.
Yeah.
They just used to write it on the back in pencil.
Wow.
I paid a whole 35 cents for this.
Oh, dude.
That's like triple cover price.
rip. Dude,
Yeah.
that's like Biden inflation prices.
No kidding. It's tripled in price.
Absolutely asinine.
Total ripoff.
Very sorry for your traumatic experience of 30 cents. I don't know how we will get over this one.
I had to have it. So
despite it all, despite inflation
yeah.
at all, 30 cents, you had to have it.
35 cents.
35. Okay, let me
Yes.
correct myself here. 35 cents.
well, you had to buy all those pictures of Spider-Man. Damn it!
If only it had been 32 cents. That would
Oh,
have worked out perfect.
that was good. That was good, man. I'll give you that. That was really good. Oh no, it's great. And our boy, the Nightwing, got a new Bachelor pack. Congratulations, man. That's what I like to see. Well, all right, let's get into the thick of the screen. So yeah, we already got people in the 20s here. Thank you guys for being here. We're not even 10 minutes in the show. We got a nice crowd in here ready to party. So I love seeing that. It makes me happy. It makes me enthusiastic when I see people here they're really anxious to want to get on partying because that's what it's about, right? About the good times, about the partying. I mean, am I right or am I right? Just saying. Rooney. Anyways, this one's to you, chat, for being here early and joining us. Because we're gonna get into some Spider-Man. Oh, dude. Oh, you did that on purpose. Oh, you
What?
had to
What?
give me the sound wave.
Oh, you mean the leader of the Decepticons?
Dude, yeah. We'll talk a little Transformers at the near end. We'll definitely highlight it a bit. We will. So, and also I'll show off some of my FCBD finds. I found some cool back issues. They were like $1, and I was just like, oh, no one wanted another issue of Slide. What a terrible loss! It's now my gain. How dare these people not wanting more of Slide in their life? Oh, I spoiled it. There's more Slide in my life. Anyways,
there's more Condor in your life.
I do need more Condor in my life. That's the real tragedy is that I don't have more Condor in my life. So
just like we need more Pablo in our lives.
we do. Right,
Always
Pablo?
need more Pablo.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man? Nice to see you here.
No.
Hey, I have been editing a video. Man, I
Up with the video.
Disney is a mess. Will always be a mess, and I have no idea how they keep going. But one day they will run out of money, and it will be a good day.
Well, clearly they're fueled. You see, Pablo, they're fueled by Walt's corpse rotating in his grave.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
They just
I
they
find-
hook some wires up to it, and that thing generates free electricity, baby.
Cold fusion with Walt's corpse.
Cold fusion.
well, it will explain a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But Iron, I finally understood a lot of how your government works by Magic the Gathering.
Oh no!
You had me at understand the government.
I made
Yeah,
a deck
That's all
that
you
is
needed to say.
the archetype is American control. So we we are starting with the colors, right? White, blue, and red. Also, the goddamn things tax you for everything you do, smothering tides, etc., etc. Every single time you do anything, it punishes you. It casts things for free,
Mm-hmm.
and basically it wins by using nukes. So yeah, it's pretty much American.
Oh man, I tell you, Pablo, I'm sorry you have to deal with these situations. Maybe you should try to get down to Argentina. Maybe that might help solve some of those, some issues with the central banking and governments and all. I don't know how much the stateside issues, but maybe at least improve a few things. I don't know. That's just my theory and guess. Not to delve too much down to that well, but from what I've heard from some fellow Argentinians, it seems like there's some good over there right now.
Yep.
Which, for them,
better.
I'm happy for them. By the way, I'm really happy for my friends in Argentina. I know Leif Erikson, who's a listener of this particular show. He's in Argentina, so shout out to you, dude. Yeah, I'm glad things are improving. It's nice. It's really nice. It really is. Yep. We need more of that in the world. Let's bring more of that. Let's bring it to Ecuador. Let's bring it to America. Let's bring it to Canada. We just need more greatness. Well, dudes, are we ready to talk some Spider-Man?
Oh hell yeah!
I am seriously, absolutely ready to talk about these fantastic issues. So, all right, dudes,
they're amazing.
Oh, nice. You had to say.
Somebody had to.
Someone did have to say it. So let's get into issue number 45 of the Amazing Spider-Man.
Let's get into the swing of things.
Oh, and this is perfect because this leaves off where we left off 2 weeks ago before we had our off week, hang out the Sasa Sisters, but shout out to them. That was a really fun show, and we'll definitely do that again this summer, probably this fall as well. Yeah, number 45. This is perfect because it almost worked out in our favor to have that show in between because of how great the cliffhanger was from issue 44. So in retrospect, kind of doing that, I was like, oh, that was a good way to leave people hanging for the extra week. It was almost like we were doing it like network TV even. did we just do a play on network TV, but with comics? We sure did. So yeah, Spider-Man, as we all remember, is in a sling. The Lizard is far gone mentally. He's on the city. His parents are worried. Oh, sorry, his wife is worried about him. His son is worried, Billy. What a crazy situation for Spider-Man, especially against a powerful reptile. And he's got one arm. One arm. How's he going to go about it? Well, we'll let these gentlemen talk about their thoughts on the issues as we go on. And before we do, Jennifer Grover here, Canadian $2. Hey, Angels. XL. Thank you, Jennifer. I think you came on here for your first time last week from the Saska show. That was fun. Thank you for coming back. It's nice to see some comeback faces. Appreciate it. Pull up, enjoy the ride. If you got a drink, drink it. If you're straight edge, that's cool too. Thank you for the Canadian $2 and shout out and respect to you. Thank you. All right. You know what? I'm going to let D-Bud talk about this issue since he only has the actual physical issue in his hands.
Yeah, I have it in my hands right now, actually.
Literally. I love this cover, by the way. Tell us about your thoughts on this issue.
Beautiful cover, as usual.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's funny. This has a lot of it has a lot of soap opera stuff in it again too, or Betty and Veronica stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it starts off and Spidey's got to get around town using his web bridges now, because he's only got the one arm. So they continue on with that, and then he's got to, he's kind of been stuck in the house for a while, and he finally has to get out there, and he says, "Well, I'll just tell people I hurt myself on my motorcycle."
That's a very Peter Parker way of going about it, right?
Which would make sense, but there's one other thing that's in this that he about his cycle is in the previous issue. He was talking about how I haven't even had time to paint my cycle red because Mary Jane will really get a kick out of that. And it was still blue. And somehow, even though he had just one good arm, he spent the time painting his cycle because in this it's red. And he's like, good thing I had the time. I guess with that arm and a sling, he just, I can't do anything else. I'll just paint this motorcycle. Don't want to go out in public. I'll just hang out by the garage.
Hey, there are several things that you can do with only one arm in the garage. At least painting a motorcycle is kosher. Somebody had to say it.
All good, man. What's up, Dave C and Max Redstone? Thanks for dropping in, dudes.
Hey, fellas.
Yeah, we got a nice crowd in here. I like it. Spider-Man payoff is real.
This is that scene that Pablo was talking about last week, where the lizard pops into the Connor's laboratory.
This was funny for me.
Well, it kind of makes sense too.
Oh, it does. No, it makes sense.
He's trying to get the formulas figured. Oh, I can get my stuff from Connors. I can figure out how to make everybody like me, and I could be their master. But he doesn't have Connor's mind, so he doesn't understand any of it.
He just trashes it because he's like, I can't figure it out, even though because he thinks Connors is a separate being, even though he is Connors. Like, obviously, it sucks for his family. But for the reader, I kind of had a laugh. I was like, wow, you don't realize he's the one as his other self that knows the formula.
Yeah,
it's a play. That's a play on Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. If you read the book, the original book, the character when he's as Jekyll has one type of personality, but also one way of doing everything, including knowledge. And as Mr. Hyde, he's completely rough. He's basically just this inhuman thing walking. So yeah, he's more of a brute. He is way angrier, and he doesn't understand the science that was happening on the laboratory. So he never finishes the formula to become himself completely, to dominate. And yeah, basically, I think is suicide at the end. I don't remember. I read the book a long time ago, so I don't remember. But yeah, it's a play on that. The lizard is also completely unaware of the science. He's completely unaware of anything that is Connor's.
He's
Is his
pissed.
own being.
He's pissed. See, look at those eyes, man. I'll tell you what, Ramita knew I drew some badass eyes on the lizard. I love the eyes. Seriously.
Yeah, really, it captures a scary look to him. Yeah. And speaking of scary, I mean, it is kind of funny what's going on, but at the same time, it's kind of terrifying to the Connors family because, especially Mrs. Connor, because she's hearing all this noise. She knows that it's the lizard, and she doesn't know if he's gonna come into the rest of the apartment they have there. And so she's scared witless, and so is the Billy. So they don't know what's going on and what's going to happen. So it kind of raises up the tension level there on top of the fact that, Spidey's only got one good arm on him. And he has to spend a bunch of time trying to find places that he thinks a lizard would be. He finally hits on it, finds him in the rail yard with this reptile circus or something. And kind of is, he's got to deal with it by just kind of quick striking and getting the lizard mad at him, trying to get him to follow him. And again, it's the way he figures everything's out is, he's using his brain to defeat this antagonist he's got, because he doesn't he's stuck at the point where, he's only got so much to deal with one arm. And he also doesn't want to hurt the lizard because he knows it's Dr. Connors. And of course, he figures out that, with a lizard, they don't like cold. Finds a refrigeration car on the train and tricks him into getting into that. And then he just keeps getting him angry at him, so he doesn't realize where he's at until it's too late. And of course, he uses his science knowledge again to kind of recreate the formula he used to cure the lizard before. So it always comes back to his greatest superpower is his genius. And I mean, I always like that part of Spider-Man.
I do too. I love it. It never gets old seeing that. I'm with you. I love when you see it happen. And I also love how he's so mindful of his secret identity that he's always thinking about how everyone's going to react. But because he is who he is, it ends up a lot of times being a opposite effect of how he thinks it's going to play out. Because I was like, oh, they're going to make the connection, which I don't blame him. I do believe in the idea of conflict of interest and the whole, well, hey, this guy's a sling, what would it be? But the fact that flashes us like, oh, you're just puny Parker. Yeah, you probably had some fake injury or something. Yeah, you didn't have a serious injury, unlike Spidey. The way that plays out actually does make sense for characters like Flash. That's the thing. You can see that stuff, and I believe that when that's happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it totally fits with Flash as far as him doing that and talking him that way. Speaking of talking about Peter, someone else talks about Peter in this issue.
Oh, yeah.
Mary Jane.
Yeah.
She's talking to her aunt. And what does she say?
Oh, yeah.
He's a little square, but he turns me on.
It was hilarious. And before we carry on, Jeff, forget Canadian $2. XOXO. Exclamation points. Hey, cheers. Thank you for Canadian $2. Appreciate you hanging out and sending another super chat our way. Hopefully you're having a stellar Friday evening. Joe Dog, what's up, Joe Dog? Oh, that you made a good decision there, buddy. What's up, Principal?
Joe Dog.
Man, we got a packing crowd in here. I love
nice stuff.
No, I will say the fact that Spider-Man took the fight, D-Bud, against the lizard and taking the alligator and then basically just kind of bitch smacking all the snakes with them, swinging the alligator around, beating them all. Felt like that was a very Florida man way to win this. And it felt like he had to become a Florida man a little because He only had one arm.
One part of me was laughing. The other part of me studied biology on college, so I was like, "Oh, those reptiles are dead." Especially the snakes. If you twist them like that and
Yeah.
yeah, the spine is broken, the internal organs are bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
What are
that's
you
a
talking about?
massacre.
They're noodles. They're noodles. You can bend them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, when he's smacking the other crocodiles, the other alligators with the alligator, I'm like, okay, that alligator is bleeding on the crane, is bleeding on the gut, is basically absolutely dead. And with the force of a Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
is I don't know if you get alligator puree, but the Spider-Man invented it. Invented it. There is,
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I've had alligator though. It tastes like chicken.
yeah.
Does it really?
Have to have. Oh yeah,
Interesting.
Cajun. Yeah, Cajun food. There's plenty of alligator in Cajun food. It
Okay.
does taste like chicken to me.
Dude, near the Amazonas, they have a lot of alligators. So if you go to the uh, rainforest part of my country, you can actually eat alligator. You can
Mm.
eat snake. It's a fun place to be, especially if you are solid snake. That's a Metal Gear reference.
Snake.
Oh, good.
Snake.
No, on the training he actually had to eat snakes. Also, the
Did
original
really?
snake, naked snake. Yeah, naked snake during Snake Eater, you have to eat a lot of snakes to survive.
Oh, do you got anything else to add, Pablo?
Oh,
Sorry, I mean D Bud. Sorry, D
oh,
Bud. I meant to say D Bud.
Oh, yeah. Um. Well, it's at the end. He's helped them, and they're all the Connors family's also grateful to Spider-Man for helping him and
Mm-hmm.
turning back into Connors and and getting the family back together. And yet, when he leaves them, he's like, "Oh, great! I've still got this arm. Aunt May's going to come back. She's going to be go. Oh
yeah.
no, you can't ride your motorcycle ever again. I still need money to pay for Aunt May's trip because she's down in Florida. So
Mm-hmm.
he's got all these worries, and it's like, even though it's a great happy ending for the Connors family, he's just Spider-Man's just miserable because
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "Ah, I still got all these problems, and he even runs into Mary Jane and Harry, and he kind of goes, oh no, I can't go with you guys, and they take off, and he's, oh, yeah, she's kind of icky, she's always on all the time. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, maybe I'm just being a pill because I'm just miserable right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it kind of, he's end of the issue, he's just sitting there kind of going, why am I even Spider-Man? It's just such a miserable existence of all the stuff I have to go through. It's like it's so hard on all these, my family and me, and why am I doing this? And it's almost like it's foreshadowing a later story.
Oh, you don't say. You don't say. What's up, RJ? Nice to see you dropping in, buddy. Caster, why don't you sign in on your thoughts on this issue?
Yeah. So one of the things I am liking with sort of this era of comics is, and in particular with these issues, we're seeing little elements from the previous issue kind of rolling over into the next one. For example, here, of course, we have Peter with his arm in the sling from the start, as well as Aunt May is off on her vacation. She's away. Little things are kind of rolling over. So there is this sense of momentum with the comic that everything isn't just sort of in this state of amber, just as caught in time.
Yeah, there's continuity. There's a definite
Yes.
continuity between issues. Yeah, you have to read them in order.
Love it. I love it. I seriously, these Spider-Man comics have been so much fun to read. But carry on before I go on.
I mean, even just little things like seeing, okay, well, Peter's got to fight, the lizard surrounded by lizards here again, and he's got to try to come up with a new way to beat him here. And so there's just that natural conclusion of, well, they must have a refrigerator truck. I'll drag him in there because if he's a lizard, he's gonna lose a lot of his energy when he's in the cold. There's just this natural an easy to follow logic that even that kids could be able to follow and understand. It makes it a great book for getting into to read.
I agree.
And,
Go ahead, take it away.
oh, and I mean, just other little things kind of pop out at me, like hey, Mary Jane is kind of different than I always remember her being. She's more of a, she's always kind of this party girl, but it seems more just seeing her sort of the era, that sort of that 60s kind of.
She kind of encapsulates it perfectly. If you think about it, her dialogue and her she really encapsulates it, like the way she talks about things. Like she is, you could feel that she has like a contagious energy to her personality and the way she says things. It's like wherever she goes, she's on 11. She's that type of personality. Wherever she goes, she is the energy. She is the life's blood of the party. She was what brings energy to the area. Wherever she happens to be, she's the energy to that. She's the spark that lights the fire.
She's modeled after the Go-Go Girls of the era.
Oh, is she?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And I guess I think that's really what made her stand out at the time. That's really helped sort of ingrain her into the zeitgeist. Is just there's just this energy she brings to any room she's in. She is the life of the party, even when she's with Aunt May, with Aunt May and Anna. She is no matter what she's doing, she got the music on, she's dancing, she's kind of into the groove. She makes everyone just seem like they're so much younger just being around her.
Yeah, I strongly agree with that. Strongly agree. No, I really love the way she's written as a character in these issues. It's just like, wow, I almost forgotten at one point that she was, written this way in terms of that energy of her personality. It's really awesome. It's just like, wow, that's cool as shit. Like I'd hang out with her, like type of thing. Like it's really cool. I love it, and the action is really good too. And it feels like every once in it don't matter if you're at issue 1 or if you jump to issue 39. When Romita Senior hopped on, it feels like you benefit from the story no matter where you are from this. And I love the pacing of this issue. These issues, all of them, like not just issue, but for this and going forward for tonight, even the ones preceding 2 weeks ago, they move fast, man. All these issues move. They all are just going. Like you nowadays, and especially a lot of big 2 trades, it takes 5, 6, or 7 issues for movement to happen. You get movement in every single issue, whether it's small or greater. You get movement, and it's awesome.
Just one last thing, I'll say to kind of end my segment here is towards the end of the book when Peter's got the lizard back in the lab and he's doing the work with him.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way it's drawn with all the shadowing, all the shading. It's done very much in this sort of horror aesthetic to it. I think like page 18. Yeah, right here where you see just everything is heavy, thick in shadows. Where you're going from panel to panel, it's pulling you in.
Yeah, it's full of tension.
It makes everything around it just seem so foreign, so
better
distant.
Get this shit done, Peter. He's gonna awaken.
Because you look at Kurt's wife, Dr. Connor's wife here, where right for all the horror of she doesn't know what's on the other side of that door, what's going on. Everything outside of just this little 2-3 foot space for her, none of it matters except that door. I mean, I think the shading is brilliant. It stands out to me.
I agree. Strongly agree. How about this last panel? We'll let Clobby, dude, your thoughts. What did you add in for those word balloons? Assuming that he's back.
Well,
there he is.
I think I said, you know what? I didn't get up in time back up to the office, and so I don't really know what I want to put in these panels, John. So I tell you what, see if the readers could do it. I'm just too busy. I got a conference to go to and a meeting and stuff. So just I don't know. You guys do whatever you want. Well, I don't feel like doing it, Stan. I'm too busy. I'll tell you what, we'll leave them blank and we'll make the little crap heads believe that they can actually write their own dialogue in this panel. How about that? They'll think we're such great guys. I'm sorry. What'd you say? What'd you ask me? Yeah, I think I forgot all about this silly thing here. And you know, I guess they said, "Gee, thanks, Peter." Oh, I mean, Spidey. Oops. She goes, "What do you mean, Peter?" No, I think he meant Dad. What do you mean, Peter? Hey, thanks a lot, Kurt. Now I'm dropping dime on my secret identity. Thanks a lot, pal. I don't know what he said. What was the question again?
You forgot, like Stanley forgot about the bubble soap. Yep.
These are some of my best dialogue ever. These four balloons right here. The greatest things I ever wrote it. And I wrote it all, baby.
I love it, Bobby.
Yeah, he's a beautiful issue, great art, classic. You know, just it's perfect Spidey. The whole thing, you guys covered it all perfectly. It's classic Spidey, him fighting with a handicap, whatever superhero do you ever see fighting like that? Yeah, I love it. Love the Lizard. They've adapted this story. Didn't they adapt this on the animated series, even, I believe?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Not,
the
not as
elements
well,
of it
but
crept its way.
Well, they did
elements of it in there.
Yeah. I know the 67 series. They did the first.
They did some of it. Yeah.
Story from number 6. Yeah.
True. Peter Parker's pad. Peter Parker picked a peck of pickle pepper pads and something. Remember those old Marvel stickers, D-Buds from the 70s with all the, they used classic art and they were stickers, but they always had them making some silly joke in the,
Yes.
the word balloon.
I think I still
really
have an
corny
Iron
jokes.
Man one, of course.
I have all of it. I have the whole set there. Yep. And it was great art. They just used clipped up art from comics.
Yeah.
And had them saying something really goofy. So, and that's what that reminded me of the Peter Parker's pickup of it with the position. So, yeah, great issue. Beautiful. Love it. Ramita, baby.
Excellent. Well then, dudes, let's talk about issue 46. I think I'll lead off with this one. So this is one of
actually.
Oh, go ahead.
You should maybe lead this off with one of those bumpers that you have, if you know which one I'm talking about. It involved a bit of yelling by Spider-Man.
Oh,
If there's any time.
Yes, this is the time for that clip.
Yes. Let's, dude. Now, it almost feels like this has come full circle now. Everything has led up to 142 episodes to bring closure, meaning, and emotion and depth to this scene.
Get back here, Shocker! Shocker! You can't escape me! I'll chase.
I will never, ever.
You cut it off.
It was an accident. Ever get old. Seriously. Ever. I heard about this, RJ, about the third season that they're hoping to do that for the floor thing. I was really, really hoping for that. That would have been cool to see because I know it originally got greenlighted. Season 3. That's the saddest part. It wasn't like, oh, well, the show it didn't do well, so season 2 will not form to season 3. As we're gonna get. Oh no, we're not. So for me, it makes it still even all the more better. But yes, this is the debut issue of the Shocker. Go ahead, Klobby.
No, it wasn't me.
Go ahead.
Oh no, that was me. I was just gonna say, it's just the universe at play. Like we don't get additional seasons of good seasons, but it'll give us Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, I knew you were going to say
Oh
Discovery
no!
for some reason.
Oh no!
So you pissed off somebody's dog, dude.
I heard that too.
Yeah, even my dog is traumatized.
You just had to bring the
Even
dog.
dogs hate STD.
Even I sure hope so. So okay, I'll go off with my obviously for this issue. It's the debut of the Shocker, aka Herman Schultz. When you see him at first, you think, okay, he's got these vibrating waves that he used with his hands. But when you really break it down, he's just a thug who happens to have some pretty neat gadgets. But still, the way he was executing his first issue really made him feel very formidable. Whereas, especially in like the 90s and later on, he started feeling a little bit more B, C, D lister villain. And I feel like this issue really gave him a good, solid intro to how capable he can be when taken very seriously. I thought the action, the choreography, the way it was the flow of it was absolutely amazing. We had a really suspenseful moment for Peter when he came to the closest at this point to his secret identity being blown with a certain coworker named Patch. You want to talk about biting at your teeth moment, and the way that happened and how he got out of it was absolutely funny. You could probably make some arguments. Will that work now? I don't know. Maybe not. But at its time, it's absolutely the most believable thing you could go into, especially nowadays with digital technology and endless stupid surveillance being everywhere and anywhere. At this time, where there wasn't surveillance, everyone didn't catch on to voices and all that, that concept worked. Also, there's a big thing for Peter here, and it was just a really big growth to his character. He's going places. Literally, he's literally going places. Not just the ESU, but he's got a roommate. He's got to figure out how he's going to break into Anna, and I love that he's still like, I still got to think about her first, even though most guys at that age are like, yeah, man, I'm moving to you right away. Let's do this. Yeah. But he's just like, hold on, Harry. I got to figure this out first. And it just turns out she wants to live with Aunt Anna. You want to talk about a hand in glove fit? Talk about, well, that freaking works out. It's wonderful. I love it. And this issue packed a lot, and yet all of it feels great. It feels coherent. It flows very well, and it's a very fun, simpler issue, well-told story, and it has great moments that are, planting seeds for where his life is going. So it's still, even though it's a simpler issue, in terms of hero and villain of the week, it's his life as Peter Parker that is actually more important in this issue because of what's become of his life going forward. So I still count it as a really strong issue because of his Peter Parker arc in this issue. Now take it away even better so, Pablo.
Dude, there's a little thing called gadget porn that I love when it's done right. And when they explain how the Shocker works, how his gauntlets work, is actually really fun. Because he's at the beginning, I was just working on the penny because I got caught, but I got this incredible idea. And he builds a huge ass machine that can shock a whole wall of a prison, and nobody tries to catch him while he's doing that. It's a big ass machine, okay? The thing was the size of his room, and nobody's like, you shouldn't have that there. The police.
He was on good behavior, Pablo.
Dude, I'm still amazed about the police work, especially inside of the jails for the Marvel Universe in this era. The police were so relaxed. The guys were like, hey, you want your gun back? Yeah, why not? Have it. Amazing people, right? But then he is, oh, but this almost destroyed me. So I need to have a cushioning that actually can absorb the shock. And I need to make so the shock can be guided this way. And everything works. And he only flaw, he always will need his fingers to actually trigger the device. And Spider-Man is not stupid. He's like, wait, he's using his thumbs? Well, I
Mhm.
immobilize his thumbs. No, he's just a random guy, and maybe just maybe have some other trigger, and a backup. But
Mhm.
the Shocker is fun. The Shocker is that kind of character
Very
that has
fun.
only one power, and is a really stupid power. But
I
it
love
always
it. He was my favorite villain toy as a kid. I stand by
oh
that too.
the toy is
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
And even he's it on the Spider-Man game for the PlayStation 4. It was
Yeah.
great, right? And the way that
Love
they
that
use his
level.
powers on that game were absolutely great. So the thing is that the character is a bit silly all the time. Even in this, he's a guy that thinks about everything related to his gauntlets. Except,
Mhm.
well, maybe a failsafe, and also if that's your only weapon, you lose it and you lose the fight. So maybe have a backup. But even at that, Spider-Man just figures out the way to defeat him, and he takes him down really, really fast. But well, personal life is a shit. So now he has to deal with all the drama in his life. And let's be
Mhm.
honest, part of the drama is so absolutely ridiculous that is fun. The drama, this is a telenovela, it's a spider novella. And having him thinking all the time, oh, when Stacy is no longer into me, maybe I should do something. Oh, there's Mary Jane. And meanwhile, this is the point where you actually see Harry Osborn getting closer to Peter Parker because to this point we have seen a lot of random conversations, but they are never really talking as friends on the page. They are not having a heart out other than well when we had the Green Goblin ending
Mhm.
for the time being. Spoiler
Mhm.
alert. But yeah, we that's the only time when we actually get Harry and Peter being close. And now you get an actual arc where Harry is straight up, I want you to live with me. I want you to be my friend, and
Mhm.
he is going at it. And at the same
Mhm.
time, obviously he is close to end, so that's where we are getting that drama. We are sipping a bit of that life, and also
Mhm.
Peter being that you have, if you have ever left your home, you will feel
Mhm.
that sensation of going to talk with your mom, with your parents, and he's like, will they be mad? Will they be sad? Uh, how do I say this in a way that doesn't sound like you guys suck? I'm out.
Pablo.
Yeah, it's a really difficult conversation because it's like, well, I'm adult enough and I want to go and do my stuff, and I know you guys may need my help and you can call me, but I don't have a phone, so we'll we deal about that some other time. No, see you guys, I'm going to my place to smoke. Well, Peter not, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Well, he's taking the steps to become an adult, to actually think about his life, and Harry is part of the engine that is propelling him forward. So it's a really interesting time for him, this wise and life wise. And as a Spider-Man, it was a fun adventure. It's not really relevant to the overarching plot of everything that is
As
happening
Spider
right now.
Man, no, but as Peter Parker, it's
Yeah,
very relevant.
yeah, exactly. So we get one shot of Spider-Man at the same time as we get the continuation of the Peter Parker saga. And with Romita, that will be a lot because he really liked working with Peter Parker.
No,
I don't know.
RJ. Oh, go ahead. You can finish
Oh,
your thought. I have
was
more after this.
how much was working at this point or in the next 20 issues or so
Uh-huh.
with Romita, um, Stanley? How much was he working? Do you know that, Chloe?
Sorry about that.
must be
Yeah,
away.
what was that?
Oh, no, here he is.
Oh, yeah.
What was the question?
Do
again,
you
buddy?
know how much input was having Stan Lee on these issues in the next, I will say, 20 issues?
Well, he was
Or
very busy. He was very busy doing a lot of other things. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
okay, and then it was Romita. Romita is the one
Well,
that really like Peter Parker and his drama. And
Well, Stan really did a lot on this book, especially after Ditko left. He was more involved with a lot of the scripting still and a lot of the dialoguing. But as far as rudimentary areas of the plot, like maybe a little bit of the soap opera stuff, but it was still mostly, especially plotting out all the action and everything, and the main focus of the story with the villains and all that good stuff. I still think that Romita, and he has talked about this, he was left to do most of the heavy lifting with the stories. So Stan did a lot of, again, how do I know I wasn't there? But this is things that I've learned over the years from years of, looking into this stuff, researching it, studying it. I think dialogue is Stan was still going in at the dialogue for the most part. But most of your plot and everything is Romita at this point. Stan was, what year was this? Let's see, this was, this was
1966 or
66.
Stan
was out of the office a lot. He rarely went into the office. They say once or twice a week. He was doing meetings. This was not too long or before he started doing a lot of college campus stuff. So I would say, I believe a lot of the plotting and the creating and all, obviously needless to say, the art is Marvel method all the way, with really John Romita doing most of the work.
okay,
most of the heavy lifting.
I may not be that wrong attributing the part of really liking Peter Parker for these issues to Romita, but you will see.
No, you're absolutely right. I believe that as well.
Yeah.
Characterization was a lot to do with the plot and different things like that. I mean, dialogue is just one thing that Stan would get these stories, and you'd see a lot of. I mean, the comics, right? He was handed a comic to put words on the balloons and stuff. Remember, most of the time. And he had very little. No, almost every time. Every time I'm saying, but as far as he was rarely in on big long plotting sessions. They never got together at the office that much. They were on the phone once in a while. So I think the Peter Parker characterization you're talking about, I would give that to Romita, and it was different from the Ditko characterization.
A lot more mature, and there are some things. This version is way more cocky, is way more in the nose, including when he's talking with J. Jonah Jameson. There's a lot more banter,
dude, I
and it's
love
gold.
how he talks back. His sass towards JJ is hilarious.
Every
I
time,
love it.
Yeah, when he's selling the pictures, that banter with J. Jonah Jameson is absolute gold. Especially when J. Jonah is like, "Do you think I will cheat you?" Every time is possible.
I think that's one of the biggest appeals of the comic here is like, as much as I'm reading this for Spider-Man, I'm reading this for Jameson. Like, I want to see what's he going to do next.
Stuff is excellent. That's why he's one of the greatest supporting characters of all time. Like, that banter between him and Peter was one of my favorite banters I've seen between the two in any issue ever. That moment. That's pretty much what comes down to between me and Pablo. It's a really outstanding Peter Parker issue. It's a pretty good Spider-Man comic, but as a Peter Parker issue, man, it is leaps and bounds amazing. Because his banter with JJ, his big move, with Harry, having the quick conversation that he thought was going to blow up, ended up being good. It's a really moving issue for Peter on his personal level. It's great. I love it.
What other comment about that writing credit, things like that? If you'll notice, Stan, the master of the credit box, in these issues that we're reviewing tonight, and a lot of these issues, they don't say Stan Lee writer, John Romita art. They just say, like, for example, issue 45, a Stan the Man Lee and John Ringading Romita adventure and agonizing action. Lettering Sam Rosen, web untangling Herb Forbush. Who doesn't exist?
Yeah.
So what is that? None of them have writer credit or art credit. We all know they're the quote unquote, they're supposed to be the writer artists, but they don't have that.
Yeah.
Whereas in other issues, they used to do that a little bit. I don't know what that tells you, but
I don't know. It tells me a few things. What's up, Mars Monkey Max? Nice to see you here. What's up, Glinser? Nice to see you, gentlemen. Drop on in. RJ had this great comment here. I highlighted this issue makes Shocker look like a kind of a jobber villain, but to be fair, he's the best of the jobber villains.
He has always been.
I felt like he put up a good fight, me personally, but it's one of those things where when Spider-Man going into unknown territory, he seems like, oh man, it's gonna be a challenge. But when you get past it, like, oh, okay, he's just a thief who just happens once again to have a few good gadgets. And stuff in the 90s and later on, it kind of made him. They definitely put him in the CD villains and made him like a lot more jokey. And I could see why they did, to be fair, but I do prefer him where he does seem to be a bit more serious in this issue. But either way, I can't complain about it. I love the Shocker. That could be the Shocker fan of me speaking. Yeah, there you go. We're gonna make the Shocker great again. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make the Shocker great again. He may not be Fancy Dan, but we could still make him great again. What's up, Bull Rush? Long time no see, brother.
You heard?
Could we talk real quick about just how great of a costume the Shocker has?
I love
the pineapple.
It's so simple, but
the design fits with what the character's powers are.
Yeah, you all know the original intent for the Shocker was, right? Stanley said, I called John and I said, hey, how about we have this character? You remember how Paste Pot Pete started out kind of said that we changed his name to the Trapster? Well, remember this character, we got this character called the Buzzer, and he carries these hand buzzers around, they're joy buzzers, and he shocks people with them. So sure thing, Stan. And they walked over, whatever. And it sounded really stupid, so John came up with the Shocker and gave us some. Kidding, that didn't really happen. I'm making it up. I was just saying it.
I actually believe that. That's funny.
It sounds plausible.
I made it up.
Actually, yeah. You see, that's the thing, Clobby. You had me to believe that. You didn't give me thinking, oh man, I don't believe you.
I had a flashback. Have you ever seen what happened when they were doing the Star Wars The Force Unleashed games? That George Lucas goes into a meeting and he's like, I really like the character. He's really cool. He should be called Darth Icky. That was the name that the character was supposed to have. So after George left the meeting and everything, they go like, what about the Star Killer? Yeah, that sounds better.
George is always kind of famous for having... George was always kind of famous for doing just off the wall ideas like that. Like I remember there was a story about a proposed like Darth Maul video game at one point. I think it was supposed to be the one set of Coruscant,
but it was in the future.
And so there was just so they had this idea that the team was trying the crew were trying to like pitch to George about like, oh, they were this other like female Twi'lek, like they're bringing Darth Talon. And George walks up and goes, well, no, they're friends. And they're like, George, no, they're going to be friends.
Yes.
I'm George Lucas, by the way. Hi. I think we need to name a character Droopy McCoolface.
No,
it smell like vanilla.
Maybe it's because I have heard a lot of stories about Lucas that are in that vein that I was like, yeah, Stanley going and saying something like that sounds so
the Buzzer, he's going to be terrific. Yeah. He's going to walk, hey, pal, and shake somebody's hand and knock him out.
Just remember, it was supposed to be the death of Norman Osborn, absolute, because Stanley said so. And then Stanley goes around the office when they are doing the Clone Saga and he has the great idea. What about Norman Osborn? Okay. So he overrode a rule that was 30 years strong, and he was just like, yeah, who cares? He's alive now.
What's up, Dewey? Yeah, I love this
issue. What if we made him alive?
I mean, we'll let let's see, we have Pablo go on this one, yeah. Let Clobby go, yeah, or no?
Yeah, I talked about it for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. What is there to say?
Yeah,
Shocker's
I think-
fantastic. He's a great, one of my favorite
Thank
villains.
you.
You know.
I love the Shocker. We're ready to get the pro Shocker movement going.
I'll tell you this though,
We'll get
Nick,
bills
though?
passed at Congress for him.
Nick, I got to say, I'm a little upset with the stalker. I'm assuming it was the Shocker. Is it Shocker? I'm a little upset with him, and I want to yell at him really bad for some reason. I feel like yelling at the Shocker right now, don't you?
Why? Oh, yeah. He's,
Back here, Shocker! Shocker! You can't escape me! I'll chase you to the ends of the earth!
That was one of our first clips ever for this show, ever in the history of ever. And it's still here, and it still feels glorious. And Shocker! I actually found the voice actor, Christopher Daniel Barnes. I found him on Twitter. I'm tempted to ask him what were they thinking to? What possessed them to get you to act like that? Because I looked at his feet. He seems like a really cool guy. He actually does. He actually seems really nice, and he's really responsive towards fans of Spider-Man, the animated series. Really responsive. And I was like, oh, okay, he seems like a really, really fun guy. But man, I can't imagine what was going on at that moment in time with that particular delivery.
I think he was thinking that they couldn't defeat him.
What?
I think if you get him if you get into a conversation with him, see if he could record a similar thing. Only instead of screaming "Shocker," he screams out, "Fancy Dan!"
That is as inside baseball as it gets. If you're watching the show, you probably understand it. Otherwise, outside the show, you'll probably could never give a shit less about that whatsoever. But in these parts, we are pro Fancy Dan. We are pro Fancy Dan. All right. Well, let's talk issue 47, shall we? I'll let Ironcaster lead this one off because, well, why should he not? So, Caster, talk about the return of Kraven the Hunter in this iconic cover.
Oh, dude, this is great. We're getting this little section of comics where we're starting to see a lot. We're starting to see like a lot of these characters that have been working out are starting to make regular reoccurring appearances. We're seeing even more of these classic, villains all being created at the same time. I had kind of forgotten that this was like the second appearance of Kraven the Hunter. For some reason, I was thinking it was the first. But most importantly, he has nipple lasers.
Yep. That's a new skill that he has, and he activates it by rubbing his tummy.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that had better be in the Kraven the Hunter movie. Like, there better be nipple lasers.
Oh, God, that movie has no hope. Oh, it sucks because they picked a good actor to play that character, too. That's the sad part. A waste of talent. A waste of good talent.
I just need Jared Leto to appear at the end.
Oh!
We are making a team.
That would actually be funny.
Yes. And then for good measure, Sony puts Morbius back in theaters for a weekend.
Yeah, all the interest will spike in Morbius. Yes.
I will tell you that movie nobody really paid enough attention. Is the perfect 90s or early 2000s movie that came too late.
All those Sony movies look like they were made in the early 2000s. Have you noticed that? They all look and feel like they're from that time. It's almost like they got all the people who worked on it from that era, but just make it like that. And yeah.
Morbius is the room of the superhero movies. It's actually fun to watch it. I have watched it a couple of times, and man, it's great. It's actually great. It's so stupid. But you have the 11th Doctor dancing around while doing a scary face. What can I say? I love that.
Look, Sony understands that you having your characters do emo dances is box office gold. They will remember it forever.
It was hilarious, man.
Just ask Spider-Man 3.
Yep.
Oh,
But anyway, with this comic, there's little things I am liking here, and once I seeing them bringing up like, oh, Flash got drafted, I started having all these old flashbacks. I'm like having the memories come to mind because I'm remembering, oh no, this doesn't end well for Flash.
Which one of the bad endings? The bad ending or the Agent Venom ending?
I mean, basically the Agent Venom. Like he comes back, he
Oh,
goes to
okay.
Lieutenant Dan. He ain't got no legs. Lieutenant Flash, you ain't got no legs. But
so,
oh my god, there is some great characterizations in here.
Mm-hmm.
Gwen getting jealous over Mary Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Jane is, as always, Mary Jane is the life of the party. No matter where she's at, no matter who's on the page.
But she gets jealous. She also got jealous of Gwen.
She's just magnetic to the vision.
Cat fight.
Yeah, I love that.
And so do the guys at the party. They're all like, "Yeah, look at them. They're both going at it in a dance off."
Funny. It was hilarious.
And
right
also
here, just Mary Jane made it exciting to hang out with Aunt-May and Anna Watson. Remember that. Let that sink in. What's up, Stephen Mack? Nice to see you once again, JT Gunn.
I just wanted to kind of highlight briefly.
The burger scene, yeah.
The burger scene is funny, but just the way the ladies are drawn here.
Oh yeah,
yes,
I think is probably the highlight of the issue. It's just I think this is one of the best.
Oh, yeah.
The best drawings in this.
Yeah,
Romito was having a good time drawing this issue.
And that was a strength of his. He did romance comics, so
it shows.
Yeah, they're Riverdale.
Yep, Betty and Veronica.
Mm-hmm.
You could definitely tell he inherited the trait, and there you go, Dearest. That answers your question. What's up, Dearest?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he used to do romance coming out, and it shows.
He did it all.
Way you could tell the way he draws the characters. You could tell it really shows, especially with there are parts where it feels like almost like a full-on drama, but it definitely is definitely a very post-18 age lifestyle, because it's not high school drama, but it's definitely late teens story going on here. Not to the point where it's slice of life, because it's still superhero comic first, but it's definitely really driven by a good supporting cast. Thank you, Mars Monkey. You're nailing it best. It was very Archie, not just in terms of the way the art is, but even in terms of the story. There's definitely some Archie-ish moments. But carry on, Caster. You were saying?
Oh, just a lot. There's a lot to kind of pull out of this, and I got to ask you guys at this point with the comics, which team are you on? Are you on Team Mary Jane or Team Gwen?
Why not both? I mean, sorry, what?
Well, back then, I was probably on Team. Well, I wasn't reading the comic at this point. But when I first read these comics way back when in reprints and Marvel Tales or whatever, and I guess I was probably Team Gwen, like a lot of people, because she was, I don't know. I'd seen her first. Well, actually, I'd seen her. I actually maybe seen Mary Jane before her, but I don't know. Somehow I started getting a lot of those Marvel Tales issues. I can't really decide, but I think I was probably Gwen first. Now I'm Mary Jane all the way because I love redheads.
Well, so
imagine my shock.
I mean, personally, I like blondes, so Gwen wins it for me. But in the comics here, in the context of with the way this is written in this, I'm leaning towards Mary Jane for Peter here. As much it pains to say me that.
You guys got the chat debating. That's good, guys. Yeah, bring in the debates, man. We love seeing it. So
I'm really sad that you guys don't understand Spanish, because there's a saying in my people that is really important for this. Ante la duda, la más tetuda. That means if you have doubt, the one with the best rack.
Pablo, your team Gwen, just because you guys got those Spanish comics with Gwen having the fat ass.
Yes. Man,
Wow.
there was a guy that was hired to make Gwen Stacy's ass bigger, and I bet the guy loved that work to the end.
I like to imagine that there was conversations in the office that day. Bigger. Bigger.
What about you,
Bigger.
D-Bud? What about you?
Well, when I was reading the book, he was already with Gwen.
Yeah.
And so when I read it in the Marvel Tales reprints, I was more Gwen because I already knew he was going to be with her. But even reading along though, we'll see it later on in probably next week's show or the week after. I think it's week after that, in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That there's another connection between them. They didn't really show much other than for a couple little points around this time. Is that Gwen's a science student.
Yes.
She's not taking gender studies or something like that. She's a science student.
An actual science student.
What a waste.
Yes.
That's true.
And so there's a connection there in that she's not just beautiful but intelligent.
Yeah.
And they kind of portray Mary Jane at this time. She's a little more, she's a party girl. She's not quite, not an airhead, but she's not deep. Whereas his relationship with Gwen was more of a deeper relationship because they had, she was just more intelligent, and that fits with him because he's hyper intelligent.
Yes.
So I lean towards Gwen for that reason as well. Yeah,
Really good answer. I like it. I like it a lot.
One of the other things that kind of pops out with me here is also just this thread that could have been of, because we see where Norman shows up and talks with Peter about I could use someone like you for chemistry, and it's like that almost seems like that could have been a natural thread of a plot line they could have done down the road where what if Peter becomes a chemist, because we see him make his web fluid. That's something different that we could see him do. Yeah, sure, he taught science at one point, but if he just goes straight chemistry.
Yeah, he just used chemistry to help the lizard. And he was doing that when he was in high school still. So well, he does go into biochemistry when he went to graduate school. So he did kind of go into chemistry.
Keely Chow has been a member for 6 months. Thank you, Keely. Says, I would also choose Mary Jane over Gwen.
But the other important thing is which one of them can make a coconut cream pie.
I don't know if I don't understand that, but I heard the cream pie part.
Yeah. You focused on the wrong part. No, it's a Gilligan's Island reference.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We know where your
He's got to
mind
use those to get
is,
the radio
Pablo.
working.
Oh, Lordy.
We're talking about Gwen was always studying biology.
She's a girl that knows how
destination.
she's a girl that knows how to make dynamite and how to be dynamite. So I will say she's perfect.
Well worded. Very well worded. Oh man. Who else
I'm
wants
enjoying
to
the
say something?
drawings.
Anna. Why don't you chime in, Pablo, about this one?
There's a lot great on this issue, but my best part gotta be at the ending when Craven finally gets Osborn, and he's like, "You will pay me," and then he goes like, wait, you say you don't know me. I have the supernatural ability to, by my natural instinct, to know if you are lying, so let me check. Oh, you are saying the truth. Then maybe I'm just an asshole. So yeah, he like, oh, okay, maybe it was the Green Goblin tricking me, or it was something else. I don't know, but this guy actually is not the Green Goblin. And this is a bit of a foreshadowing to what's coming next, because yeah, not even Norman Osborn knows who he is anymore, and that's coming to play really, really soon.
I agree.
So yeah, is really good. That part is that exactly that face off is really, really good. But then to add a cherry on top, when Norman Osborn is finally down of the structure and everything, and he's trying to talk to Harry, comes J. Jonah Jameson. Spider-Man was trying to kill you. No, I'm pretty sure he saved me. You must be wrong. He was trying to.
I feel like Pablo, between this issue and the previous issue, you're starting to, let's just say, you're starting to see the seeds being planted for a certain issue number 50 with a certain headline that was one of those headlines heard around the world in the world of comics.
Yep.
I think you know exactly what I'm, trying to
Absolutely
allude to. Yeah, you could definitely tell they are definitely being planted subtly, and they are slowly blossoming.
Absolutely. Even if you see the conversation that Peter has with Norman Osborn, while he's having that conversation, he's thinking, "Hey, this guy was the Green Goblin. I'm really glad that he's better and everything." But there's that little thing that, well, the Green Goblin is paying for Spider-Man's accommodation
Mm-hmm.
that will have to surface at one point. And Peter was obviously trying to avoid that specific topic when he was thinking about he is the Green Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Green Goblin is paying the rent. So yeah, is a situation that needs to develop a lot.
Yeah, that,
What's up,
that was the
Grim?
interesting part of him getting his apartment is that Norman Osborn's paying for it. He's not even paying rent.
No.
Peter. He's
And
one of his greatest adversaries is actually paying his rent,
well,
which is
not only
a
that,
weird relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, not only that, like Peter's always had money troubles. That's always been the driving thing in his life, and here he is finally getting this break where he doesn't have to pay rent.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's why I love
Big deal.
there's a panel. I don't know exactly which issue is, but I think it's one on the Avengers around 2012 15. That is Iron Man saying we have money, and Peter just
Civil
calls
War.
him. Oh, thanks God. Yeah, Peter has always worked like that. So the moment when Karen is telling him, "My dad is footing the bill," he's like, "Oh yeah."
Gotta be a problem to have.
So what
Okay,
am I again?
I want to add before we move on to issue 48. There's a piece of the dialogue that said a lot, like a lot of dialogue changes from the 60s, 70s, 70s, 80s, so on and so forth. And there's a particular term that's used. I'm like, that must be their way of saying bro or what's up, man, or dude. A lot of them call each other dad. Have you noticed that in these last 7, 8 to 10 issues?
Oh yeah, Daddy-O.
I was like,
yeah.
Dad. I was just like,
The
Dad. I kind of like that one. I kind of like that one. I thought that
You show me what you're throwing down, Daddy-O.
Daddy-O.
I like it. I like it a lot. What's up, Avagor? He our favorite demon has just arrived. Thank you. All right. Well, before we transition to issue 48, I'm gonna refill my glass. Should take me about a minute or two, and then we will get to issue. So I'll let these guys kind of banter.
But there was one other thing I wanted to say about the story is it was very Seinfeld like in that you had there's this Flash's going away party, you had the Craven Goblin kind of backstory where you'd never seen this before, but that gets a connection to Harry, which gets a connection to the party. And it all kind of comes together at the end where it all makes sense that they'd be together in that place and have Craven attack. So I kind of got a Seinfeld-like feeling out of that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's putting everything together with a neat little bow.
Yeah, and it's sort of like it's also sort of like what they wanted to do with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, where the villain is always somebody that Peter has a connection to, and that it made it more it gives more impact to what's happening because he knows the people involved on a personal level. They're not just some random villain.
Well, when they started doing that is when they stopped doing so much the Aunt May is in danger thing, because for I will say the first 30 to 40 issues, it was a lot of Aunt May is in peril. Aunt May is about to die. Aunt May is all the time, right? But now they are starting to have new emotional connections that they can play around, because it's no longer just Peter and Aunt May is the only real family that he has, and the other character that he really talks to is J. Jonah and Betty Brant sometimes. Because
I just the thought that J. Jonah Jameson is one of those few pieces of emotional support.
Yeah, exactly, right. But now you are expanding the roster. Is not only those people, so you will start to have a lot more room to play. And I will say, Norman Osborn being there, having that pressure all the time around Peter, because of Harry being his roommate, is actually really smart. It's a good way to have that hanging all the time around.
Yeah, there's little elements that are just it shows that this is a changing world. Like Flash is gone, so he doesn't have his old high school bully around to keep picking on him. He's now an adult in the military. He's now gone off to be a soldier. Peter's here. He's not going to have to deal with sick Aunt May having to cover the mortgage on her house anymore. That's gone. So that's a lot less. That's a lot less of those old responsibilities, and we're seeing a change there. And frankly, I think that is kind of one of the most overplayed tropes in Spider-Man is sick Aunt May. Aunt May has bills she can't pay. How's Peter gonna help out Aunt May? There are times where it does feel overplayed.
Yeah, there were like 3 major times of Aunt May being ill or sick, really debilitated during the Ditko era, and it was getting a little repetitive. Although I mean, it was well done. Certainly, the last one that really concentrated, that was one of the best Ditko stories ever.
Oh yeah,
but it was becoming a trope. And now that he's moved out, he's not having to deal with her every day. It takes that away. It's not it kind of not entirely clears that out and lets him move on in his life.
and it's not like they stop with the drama with Aunt May, because Aunt May is still frail. She's still really sad about the separation. So you get a bit of that. You get a bit of Peter being still the good nephew and everything, because you need to see that part. He's a good boy. He's a man that takes responsibility over his elders. He's actually sweet in that way. But at the same time, you need to see him mature a lot more. So having that in the background, just being she's sad or she has this problem, but it's no longer she's the focus of every story, and that takes away a huge I will say chain that the comic had during the Ditko era, and things start to flow really well. If you can see in the stories, especially when you come to the dynamic of Peter and his love life, it's interesting because it's something that you can relate, and at the same time, it's something that has a lot of movement. So you have to be paying attention all the time. It's not something that you can just forget about, and that gets you a lot of attention to what Peter is doing, to his classes, to his bike, to his life. We are finally seeing a lot more of Peter Parker that works better for the reader, and I think that's the best part. It's better not only for the story, for the reader. It gives you more variety. It gives you more interesting stories when you are maybe a bit just too used to the normal setting that Spider-Man has had for the time being.
Yeah,
Well,
that's why,
gents,
yeah, that's why it's one of my favorite runs of all time.
I can see why. And say I can see why. What's up, Conan? We'll definitely be talking a little bit of Conan later after we get through the Spider-Man issue. Yeah, thanks for dropping in, Barbarian. I love singing, dude. Cobra's, Cobra's one of my movies. I mean, this is where the law stops and where I start. I mean, I actually used the clip from it on my newest video. Yeah, in case you all didn't notice in the chat, I did post a video yesterday, which I feel like is a very relevant topic of discussion of what's going on at a certain image imprint. So if you haven't watched it, put on your watch later to watch it. Yeah, love me some Cobra, and I saw Abigail say he got the Savage. I did too. I haven't had a chance to look into it yet. But I can't wait. We'll maybe next week. If I'm lucky, we're lucky. We'll after we're done covering Spider-Man, we'll talk into some of the Conan because yeah, it's gonna be good. Anyways, dudes. No, you're the Night dude. That's huge. Wow, that's seriously, guys. That's straight up massive. That's like the hugest huge that's ever huged ever. I have nothing for that. Wow. Anyways, dudes, I ready to talk issue 48 because this is a doozy. Thank you, Vulcan, for watching. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, I'll let you hold. Are we ready, gentlemen, to transition to the issue that is of our part 2 run in a lockbox? I use that statement, lockbox. I'll not forget that trash. Anyways, guys, issue number 48. And it has a minor regression to right here. This Ditko era looking Spider-Man in the corner. But look at this cover here from Ramita. Look at that point of view.
Well, also just pointed out, like, we don't see who the Vulture is.
Yes.
That's what I love. Yeah. I'll tell you what, this cover I looked at this cover after I reread it, and I'm just like, oh,
okay,
that's smart. That's a
I
very
have a
smart perspective for the cover.
I have a question for you guys. Will I get this show canceled, or will I get myself canceled if I say the name of the new Vulture? Because I don't know if I can say it on YouTube.
If it's I guess they like to say around these parts, gamer word.
Yeah,
I do like to keep my channel.
Exactly right.
Why don't we settle with some Rocky? Drago!
Yeah, that's
Drago. There's another movie where we talk about the Long Green a lot. It's not Rocky 4, but we
I understand your
do love
concern
our
on
boy
that, though. Yeah. I'm not sure you get in trouble, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah. It's just I was reading the issue and I was like, oh yeah, this will not be kosher in modern day.
So for me personally, I love this issue as a continuation of Spider-Man's I guess you could say maybe a downward trajectory. He's not exactly doing the worst, but he's not doing as great as he once was on not only just a heroic level, but also as I got villains to deal with, and the count is starting to pile up type of thing. And but now you add that in with his sickness and it's cold outside, it makes for a great story for us. Bad for Peter, absolutely bad for Peter. And this first page is one of my absolute favorite pages of this entire issue. Him in the snow. And if you're ever one of those people like, hey, how do they ever mention how they're in suits like this and it's snowing? He did right here in the late 60s, right here. So he does acknowledge the elephant in the room, and he did way back up. But I love this. This is absolutely my favorite pages. This
Look
is
at the
One of the
definition
greatest
on the
splash pages of all time. Sorry, go ahead.
look at the definition on the muscles, the way that the body shape, the way maybe I will assume he had a bit of issue with the hand, with the right hand, because he is in a fist, but the position is a bit uncomfortable. But that's rather the person that is drawing, and is not the pose. Is how do I say it? Yeah, it is a bit uncomfortable for whoever is drawing to get a nice perspective on the hand on that position. So I will obviously understand that. But the definition on the muscles, the shadows, everything, the drawing is absolutely great.
That's one of the greatest, my opinion, Spidey splash pages ever. I mean, it's iconic.
So good. The fact that it's just Go ahead. No, go ahead, Clubby.
No, go ahead. But I'm just saying it rates up there with some of the great comic splash covers. I've always splash pages. But splash pages are very important to comics, especially back then when comics meant so much. They're and I think that's one of the greats.
It is a great way to get the issue started. You see this page of Spider-Man in the cold, putting his suit away in his webbing, out sky high, dealing with the sickness, and knowing that he still has to go out there and do this stuff. It's absolutely one of my absolute favorite. You know what? We'll continue to admire it a little longer as I'm talking about. But yeah, we get another Vulture in here because Adrian Toomes is out of commission. And as that's happened, we have a man named Blackie Drago gets the information out of Adrian to where's the suit? And well, he finds the suit and he gets a hold of it, and he has a little bit of a rocky start, but he's a quick learner. He latches on, he catches on, and he's saying, okay, this is what I could do with the suit that Adrian couldn't. And this is how I'm going to give Spider-Man a run for my money. And meanwhile, you got Aunt May and Anna Watson all worried sick about Peter because they just think he's sick. And yet Harry's just like, hey, no, he didn't just go home early. He's still out and about the world. Little do they know. But man, I could definitely feel it for Peter. He almost threw in the towel. Not like in terms of like a defeat, but more of like maybe I should have had Daredevil handle this. Because, well, in a Daredevil issue, he took care of business for them. Once again, that thread about continuity with the Stilt Man. So I thought that was really cool. I was just like, nice, highlighting the Daredevil stuff once again. So it's clear that Romita Sr. really, really loves Daredevil, considering that he has brought in Matt and Foggy one issue, acknowledged them in another issue, this one. Romita was obviously a Daredevil guy, which, hey, I love that about him. Especially as a Daredevil fan, that's the more the better. Always for me. I will never complain when you bring in some DD into Spidey.
Sure.
To me, it's always a good thing. So, anyways, this new Vulture, he's cocky and confident right off. Sorry, he's cocky. He's very cocky. He starts going for everything. He goes for all the people's money and their briefcases and all that. And Spidey puts up a pretty good fight for a guy that he is more or less familiar with. But because his sickness is dragging him down, it becomes a bit of a mixed bag for him. And Vulture ultimately kind of like, I wouldn't say he absolutely gets a win on him, but he definitely leaves our hero kind of hanging. And Spidey's in a tough position. He's in a tough position. He really is. And you really feel it for old Peter in this issue. He really definitely had it tough in this issue, this go around. And it's just like, man, Peter, you had it tough. But the art in this issue is great. And even though Adrian Toomes is the Vulture, sorry, Drago, but there's only one Drago, but Yeah, I know you came way before Ivan, but still, there's to me one other Drago, and it ain't you. It was still a very well executed issue, and something tells me between Craven on the run, now Vulture on the run, something tells me we're gonna get a weaving of the two villains together come the forthcoming issue. So, yeah, this it almost feels like there's like a 2 to 3 part story arc going on here amongst obviously the great picture of this entire amazing Spider-Man run. Yeah, really, really beautifully told. Peter Parker is going through a rough time in sickness, but man, is he a fighter for sticking out against Vulture in the cold weather with him being sick and against a Vulture who is kind of operates slightly differently. He kind of does a detour on things. So I love this issue. And before I bring it on to the other gentleman, what's up, Gonzalo Bergali, Steve Mitchum, Read by Nature? How you doing? I like your avatar. I can't remember if I asked, but dude, is that JG Jones art?
What's up, Steve?
On Read by Nature? I think that's JG Jones. And yeah,
could
Vulture
well be.
Daredevil would have been awesome. I would not complain about that. Yeah, this is very prime Spider-Man. You ain't lying about that. So, anyways, and we got LDG. Hashtag free the net. How you doing, sir? And he get the 5 memberships. Woo! That, you know, that generates a clip, you know, that
Huge!
Thank you, LDG. Hopefully you're having a good Friday night. Thank you for dropping that on us. It looks like Steve Mitchum and Conan. I got Conan.
Hey, Steve, what's up, bro?
Gonzalo. You're all members. Thanks to LDG. Hell yeah. All right. Clawby, why don't you talk about this issue?
Oh, man, this is one of the ones I didn't get a chance to get to. I've read it before a few times, and I love it. If you notice the riches we've enjoyed tonight as far as villains, I mean, every issue is a classic. All 4 of these, everyone has great villains in it, and I love, I'm with you. The original Vulture's the Vulture, but this issue is iconic. It's got some of the greatest art in it before, and I wish I had a chance to reread it before we got started, so I'm going to let you guys handle it. But needless to say, it is a classic, and it's been about, I hate to say, 20 years or so since I've read it.
Well, then we'll let D-Bud do it then.
But I think D-Bud's the man to do this anyway.
He does have the Apple copy.
I will say that, and I've read this one many times.
I'll just say that it is a masterpiece because John Romita is just the greatest. I love him.
Fucking legend. All right, D-Bud.
Yeah, this is another real showcase of Romita's artistry, because just like last issue had the iconic cover picture of Kraven the Hunter. That cover is Kraven. That's the picture of him. Yeah. This issue, I mean, it has a beautiful cover, of course, but the layouts on this and the action sequences in this are just, they're fantastic. I mean, you're dealing with a Vulture who's a flying character, and you'll notice there's a lot of like high shots looking down on what he's doing, or low shots looking up at what he's doing. So you get all these different height perspectives of him, which it's beautiful stuff. The layout of all the actions that goes on with the Vulture. He's flying around, testing out his powers. As you were saying, he was going around robbing people, and it just looks beautiful.
The way does.
It's drawn, laid out.
They may have made this character the Vulture, the non-Vulture, but they sure know how to make him look good in this issue.
And he's the Vulture that they had in the '67 Spider-Man cartoon.
Yep,
is the Drago Vulture. And this origin of this second Vulture it's very movie-like. The plot of his to trick his cellmate into telling him a secret before he dies, and he's actually behind him having the accident. That's a kind of an old movie sort of plot line, the way that comes about. So I thought that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this leads into, the next issue after this, which we'll be covering next time, is my favorite single comic book.
Oh.
And that means I actually have that copy. But yeah, this is just a great lead up to it, because you last issue had Craven, and he didn't defeat Craven. Craven has him totally on the ropes, and then he just kind of takes off because he was after the money. He felt the Goblin owed him. So he's still out there. Yeah, and then you've got this new Vulture who takes him on, and he's sick with this illness, which if he'd have listened to his Aunt May and worn his sweater and mittens and muffins and all that stuff, she kept telling him, you're frail boy, Peter, you need to wrap up. He didn't listen, and look what happened.
Right.
He should eat the vegetables too.
Was right.
So you do what Aunt May tells you to do. Yes, that's the lesson of this issue, is do what Aunt May tells you to do.
I have a scientific question, and this is actually really weird and really, really making me sad that I don't know the answer. Is it a 42. Human virus or a spider virus?
I think yes.
Because maybe his immune system was ready to handle human viruses around, but he's in a place with the spiders that he has never met before.
He's got
new viruses. Yep. And that sounds really stupid, but if you think about it, that will be a really smart thing to do. He's
Stanley would have gone with it if he had thought of it.
Yeah,
I got it. There'll be a spider virus.
Yeah, he's vulnerable to human viruses, but he is vulnerable to spider viruses. It will be an interesting weakness.
He got the web flu. Excelsior!
What a great idea! I was shooting him.
Debo was on the sub. I've been on a lot of great things. I want to add to that. I like with Spider-Man fighting against Craven and the Vulture that's not Vulture is that you could see his experience from these two villains paying off a lot more this time around, because you could tell it's like, okay, I know what to do in this situation, even though Craven has a moment where he still kind of gets Spidey, but overall, though, between that and this issue, you could tell he has a much better handle on how to take guys like these down. Whereas Shocker, although was a lot more of a simple villain, because it was unforeseen territory, he had a bit more of a struggle in that regard. Do you see where I'm getting at?
Yep.
Yeah. Because Craven gets him with the new device that he wasn't prepared for. And the Vulture, he had this virus, so he wasn't at full speed. Although this Vulture's a younger Vulture, and he seems more. He would be more formidable because of the Adrian Toomes looks like an old man, so it doesn't seem like he should be that hard compared to a young man like Drago. But yeah, he has experience against that particular suit. The Vulture suit. So he kind of knows how much their abilities are to what he has to do to get back at them and to slow down and defeat them. Unless he's sick.
Unless he's sick. All right. Hell yeah. All right. Before I pass on to a nerd dude, what's up, Gaskar? The Basket Scenario Project Cambrian just popping by to say Bulge, Volume Dealer, and John Platt. Thank you guys all for dropping in. Hope you're all having a great Friday evening. Ironcaster, why don't you have your say on this issue? And we'll let Pablo do it too and then we'll move on to some general topics for the night.
Okay. Just first and foremost, this imagery of Spider-Man in the snow, I just absolutely adore.
Yep.
Dude, right?
It's something I didn't like, okay,
If
so
there's a Romita art book on Spidey in the Snow, I'd buy it. I'd straight up buy it.
it was just that little addition, for example, to No Way Home at the very end. Was the
Mhm.
moment I was watching him, and when at the very end of the movie, he's in the snow, swinging and jumping across the rooftops. I'm
Yeah.
like, at that moment, I'm like, oh my god, he's Spider-Man now.
Yep.
Now he's ready.
It
But
was the suit too. Yeah.
mhm.
Uh-huh.
No, it's God, it's a fun little book. We get to see just this kind of young new guy kind of come in and take over the role in a way that
Mhm.
feels natural. Like, oh, this is another prisoner who shared a room with him, as Adrian's like, who's always kind of this frail, light looking man. Which, by the way, is partially why he was able to fly, is because he was just this little weak old man. He didn't weigh. Probably weighed like what, 80 pounds,
Mhm.
which is why he's able to fly so gracefully.
Mhm.
Whereas Drago here is just the younger. He's just pure. He's pure muscle. He's built up. He's a mook.
Mhm.
He's a meathead. All the while you have the stuff with Craven still kind of going around that hasn't quite done. Little things like Gwen is kind of Gwen has changed up her look because of Mary Jane. She's trying to dress up because now there's competition for Peter. It's got a lot of great little elements in here. And then of course we have, I think, probably the most important part, which is that moment where Peter, thinks, like you mentioned earlier, Peter's thinking about throwing in the towel. In that moment, he's like, I feel like I just got hit upside the side of the head with a bag of oranges. I want to do nothing more than curl into like a blanket and just die.
Woo!
I'll just have Daredevil do this. Wait, what am I saying? No, I can't do this. This is my
Mhm.
responsibility. And
Yeah.
I had to step back and think for a moment. I'm like, if I were in his shoes, would I have would I have forced myself to go back out and keep fighting? And it's like, that's why Peter is the best hero. He In that moment, I'm like, at that moment, I'm thinking, I probably would have called it in.
Mhm.
I would have called the Human Torch. At least he can fly.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a really good match. The Human Torch can just burn the wings, and that's it.
It is a good match. I agree. It really is. It's one of those things that just makes sense.
Yeah, sadly, this was not an era for making sense on that way. Happily, it was an era that made a lot more sense than current era. So,
Oh, it made more than sense. It made dollars.
yep.
Unlike today.
No.
Oh, have you?
Go ahead, Pablo.
There's one comic that I know is selling well, and is Spider-Man being happy. The new Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh
Run.
yeah, it has been doing very well
Okay.
at a lot of stores and my store. It's, I think, outside of Amazing, which no one's talked about Amazing. Amazing sells, but no one talks about it. Or Ultimate sells, but people are talking about it. Those are the only Marvel books in my shop that are really, I guess you could say, moving the needle, as they started making that phrase 5 or 6 years ago. I don't read either of them, but I'm happy for those who are reading Ultimate that they're enjoying it. It's gonna be a bit longer for me before I get into it, but hey, if people are enjoying it, obviously, once again, who am I to argue with that? So, I am, once again, I'm still enjoying my Energon universe. I'm enjoying my Conan. So it kind of balances out. So I'm okay. I'm very, very okay. So, and I really like what's coming out of the Ghost Machine line as well. So far, so we'll touch on that a bit shortly. Cass, do you have anything else you want to add to this?
No, I think this is a fantastic issue, and especially with this ending on a cliffhanger.
A good one. That really good one at that. Yes, sir. Well, Pablo, why don't you sound off on your thoughts, and we'll just have some general topics for the next 45 minutes to an hour.
My thoughts go straight to the cliffhanger because dude, that scene is really strong. It's really powerful. It's just Spider-Man lying in the sand. No other text than to be continued as a question. Man, that's a way to end the story. That's a way to give you like, oh, I need to waste my money in the next one. Yeah.
Well, the question is, how are you going to survive until next month when you get to see the follow-up?
Okay, I gotta ask, and I've never looked into it. This scene reminded me of the final shot from the first Sam Raimi movie.
Yes, absolutely.
It ran straight through my mind. Now I'm like, dude.
Spider-Man in
I had that box set when I was a kid. I feel like I need to go and seek it out again because something happened to it. I don't know what, but I thought about that. I'm like, I need to go see that. And I looked on eBay too, and there are people who still have them. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Yeah. I feel like I have to get one. I feel like it. Just saying.
Do you remember the movie theater poster?
Oh, which one? The Twin Towers one, or the one where he's walking up
Twin
the
Towers
wall?
one.
Oh yeah. There used to be a theater in my area called Curaçotis 12, and I think it was numbered by the location. It turned to an AMC later on in like the 2010s, and I remember seeing that poster, and I was just like, "Holy crap, it's real!" There's a Spider-Man movie coming. I remember when I saw that trailer too. That once again with the Twin Towers as well, because I know Gary Nerdrotic has that poster. He has that poster with the Twin Towers involved. And I'm just like, damn it! Why do you have to be so much older than me? Otherwise, if I was Gary's age at that point in time, I would have found a way to have gotten that poster. But I'm sure nowadays on eBay it's probably worth hundreds of dollars, and I've got a ways to go to do it. But yeah, I remember seeing that trailer in 2001 at the theaters and just like, whoa, this is actually happening. And I actually thought that was and I'm not saying just because nostalgia or controversy, but I thought that was a better trailer for the movie than what came after. I felt like that had like it just that trailer was like, wow, this is cool. The fact that we're seeing this actually happen, because I remember I think I said on here, I apologize for repetition, but I saw that first Toby movie at midnight, and I slept for like 3 or 4 hours, and then I went to school in 8th grade, and then I got out of school and saw it again later that day, and then I saw it the next day, that Saturday. So it's safe to say I was very excited about there being a Spider-Man movie. I have not done that at all since then.
I remember let's see, I must have been about 12 at the time that movie came out. Like 10 or 12 years old when that movie came out. And I can remember going to the drive-in with my mom and dad, and my dad brought his truck along, and in the back of it, he had gone and inflated up an air mattress. So we're all sprawled out, kind of watching it in the back of the truck. You know, and it's one of these happy little memories. Kind of brings back to like when my parents were still together. You know, just getting to go see Spider-Man with my dad. Like, he's the guy who got me into comics, so getting to see movies like that with him always makes them feel a little more special.
I love it. I freaking love that dude. No, there was even though like I definitely see some of the flaws for what they are. There's something about that moment in time that just
So
I cannot duplicate that.
I'm probably gonna go see Deadpool 3 with them because it comes out like on my birthday.
Oh, does it?
Well, the
Okay.
day after, but still, it's
Okay.
it's coming out
Yeah,
on
it's
my
close
like
enough.
that weekend. So I'm like,
Mhm.
hey, Dad, Deadpool, let's go.
Yeah, no, by all means, man, make that happen. What's up, Captain? Have fun. Just by the way, I saw on Gilded, got baby on the way. Congrats, man.
Oh,
Cheers to you, Captain. Have fun. All right.
Ooh.
I wish you the absolute best, man. All right. Cheers and beers.
Cheers. Good health. Man.
So anyway, Paul, do you have anything else you want to add, or shall we call it a Spider-Man run?
What can I say? New Voltor is not the same. He has some good ideas about adding some things to the suite. Yeah.
Mhm.
So he is not only still in the suite, he's trying to make him his own.
Mhm.
Still, I don't know if it's because of the animated series. Uh, Original Voltor is for me. Is the character that I identify as the Voltor always.
Mhm.
So I'm not really crazy about it, but the ending is really cool. And well, we know what is coming next, and the character gets a lot better. I will say. Still,
Mhm.
it's not Tom. What can I say?
Nah. Seriously, I have my Spider-Man buzz has really reinvigorated once again with these issues, and I
Yeah.
can't wait to cover the next 3 weeks of these amazing issues of Spider-Man. It's been fucking awesome. It seriously has been fucking awesome. I am enjoying it. I am eating it up. And speaking of reinvigorated Spider-Man buzz, let me get some of those back issues I sought out. Remember when I said one of them had Slide in it? I was not joking. Especially for someone like me, when I talk about Slide, that's the fucking truth. So, anyways, Web of Spider-Man number 23. It's literally says slip sliding away. Slip sliding away. There's my boy Slide right there. Slide
There's
right. He's sliding out, man. He's sliding out.
there's something really weird about the Spider-Man's ass on that one. And I mean it. It looks weird out of
It looks like almost like a Milo Manara type of pose.
yeah.
That's
Wow.
one. It's a Milo Manara type of pose.
It is really
That's what
weird.
happened. And then Web of Spider-Man number 58 with the Grizzly.
Oh yeah.
The Grizzly. The Grizzly. Yeah, he's really scared to his boots, man. The Grizzly.
That cover is great.
What
Yeah,
about the
no,
spot?
I really like this cover. Actually, I really do. Like, I'll admit the slide cover is a bit more like standard, but this cover here with the Grizzly, even though he's a very standard villain, I really like this cover. So, by the way, this thing here, so what's great about this? I showed off that I got this a few weeks ago. However, what's different now to then? I have read most of this. So what happens is there's 2 issues in here. And it starts off as the comic book version of the issue, and then it goes into the chapter book format of the issue. And then starts the second issue, repeats the cycle. Comic format, chapter book format. And of course you get another glorious map, once again, of these French version of it released in America, the Cimmerian, because some reason they can release it in America as Conan. And dude, yeah, you know what? I'll embiggen myself. Dude, it is an absolute wonder.
Fantastic art.
Yeah, it is
She good.
absolutely. Yeah, it's really just badass, just absolutely badass shit. And dude, it is awesome, and it is lots of crazy dialogue, a lot of crazy supernatural shit too. it gets pretty damn out there, man. And I'm all about it. And then it gets into the chapter book format. And dude, someone saw me reading this at work, like, how do you see that? I'm like, I don't know. I guess I got my 2020 pays off. But once again, another more badass looking pages of these pages. But man, it has been a joy to read this. Yeah, the art has been rocking. I actually still got to look into the names on some of the creatives because it's clearly a lot of creatives that I'm not really familiar with. But man, here, let me get to. Yeah, once again, 10 chapters, the chapter book format. Look at all those words in the sum of 2 pages.
Yep, that would have been the original pulp story.
Yep. Yep. And then moves on to the second issue and repeats the process. I'll give you a sample of the later story because, well, why the hell not? Why shouldn't I? Oh, hold on. I can't show off that page. That will get my channel yeeted.
Boobies.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, actually. But yeah, that's another one with that. And okay, this one's just loaded with it. All right, Chad, I'm sorry. This one's really.
He's got to dig for a page that's
I did. I'm
PG.
trying to look for a page that's not. Okay, here's Conan being angry. There, you have to deal with Conan being angry, saying, Father. But, man, it is good. Seriously, I know the shine. There you go. Oh, see, that looks better right there. Yeah. But seriously, if you're one of those who has to use Amazon, this is on Amazon. This is volume 2, by the way. It's titled The Sumerian for American release. Check this shit out. It freaking rules. I am having fun. It's basically just taking the Robert E. Howard stories and putting them on into comic format. Really, that's all that it is. It's great. It's great. It's great. Also, Caster, there's an Energon Universe special that came out, and there
was indeed.
There was, and so how about that Megatron?
Oh man, all right. So to kind of changing the gears here. Energon Universe #1 was our free comic book day comic, which is sort of detailing a few pieces all being kind of moved about the board within this Energon universe.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, there was of course this story of Megatron waking up. So he's been the one piece, on the table of this entire universe that everyone wanted to see. Like, what's Megatron gonna do? Where's Megatron at? Well, we saw that.
Wait, what issue do you say it is?
This is it's called the Energon Universe #1.
Okay, I need it. I was drinking something when you said Megatron. And I almost choked.
Our boy is awakened. He's awakened.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it sounds like Pablo's been reading Cobra Commander, so he knows where he's been lately. But our boy has finally awakened from his slumber after about, I don't know, almost a year now. Megatron is on the way.
It's gonna get ugly.
And not only that, you're seeing a little bit of sort of the events from before they all wound up on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting to see them at their prime, just fighting with each other. As Megatron gets his arm hacked off, and Starscream shoots him in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Shh,
Good.
Don't worry. Rest now.
Let me relieve
you of the heavy burden of leadership, Megatron.
I'm going to highlight a Ryan Otley panel here. Now, I will say, though, as someone who knows Otley because of Invincible, it took me a lot to get used to the colors because I'm so used to, I think his name is Cliff Rathburn, I think.
Charlie.
His colorist, Ryan Otley's colorist.
Oh, it's colorist. Cliff something or other.
Cliff Rathburn. It was Cliff Rathburn.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So it took me some getting used to because you could tell it's Otley's pencils, but it took me some getting used to. It on its own, it's like, okay, I can see someone appreciating this, but it took me some getting used to because I'm so used to Rathburn. I'm not used to him with another colorist because it's like Rathburn's one of those guys who's kind of like been with Otley over the years, but it is nice to see Megatron is back.
And I mean, this is the thing I want to point out is just like he nailed these colors. Like that is the like color scheme of Megatron.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely Megatron. I could tell that's the Megatron look. It's just for me, as someone who's used to the Rathburn, it's very bright, really bright. It looks like something that could have come like from like an older comic. I could tell he definitely had to adjust gears to the Energon universe a little bit. And
Nick, this is Megatron. This isn't Gears. Gears is another character.
I stand corrected. What's up, TZ? Nice to see you here, buddy. Thanks for dropping in. But yeah, I really like that we got Mega. I'm transitioning over to another page though. So
I mean, the thing is, there's so much out of this little like one-off comic that has bigger ramification and impacts for multiple other books.
Yes, there is, and it is not. I did miss Otley. I did miss seeing his pencil work. I really liked his stuff on Invincible. No disrespect to Cory Walker, but I think I liked Otley even more than Walker, even though Walker was a founder of the story of Invincible. But I feel like Otley, there's something he just absolutely had. Like he felt like an it factor as far as Invincible goes. But I want to highlight a certain character.
Give me 1 second.
Because it happens after Duke. And I think you know exactly who I'm talking about. After Duke took place, there's a certain character who may be working with a certain team. And I was just like, okay, I want to see where this goes. And it has some legendary phrase that I should probably start highlighting soon. Ooh, sorry. Almost had a hiccup there. But I'm gonna get this page out here. You got Caster? Or do you want me
sorry,
to
I had to step away for 1 second.
Oh no, it's all good. Yeah, Vulcan must know. Certain team. Yes. So Duke has to go capture a certain mercenary. It's really quick, but boy, is it rewarding when you see who he has to get a hold of. And well, he's trying to build a team because we all know after Duke finished, he's basically forming the Joe team. And he asked Baroness, so what do you say, Baroness? You in, or would you rather spend the rest of your life behind bars or on the run? Well, when you put it like that, Yo Joe.
This was a big surprise, and this is one of those things that is honestly a genuine twist of the sort of G.I. Joe license, I think, because to my knowledge, I don't think they've ever had a Baroness join the Joes like this. So this has a lot of potential. We've seen her set up as this character who's really for the fun of it. As a thrill chaser, she goes and she's gone and done all this stuff, studied all these languages. She could have been a socialite, but no, she'd rather be this badass. She basically is the Black Widow.
Oh, absolutely is. Yeah.
So
I'm curious to see where this goes.
So the potential down the road is okay, she got to go back and join Cobra. That's only a matter of time. But also, just real quick, as well in this book, I want to highlight one of my favorite characters we got to finally see in this book. That's Hot Rod.
For the Void Rivals thing. Let me get that out. Let me get that page out. Let me hear. Well, you know what? Let me emphasize on you. Well, I'm getting that page out.
Oh, dude, come on. How can we? This is like honestly one of the best Transformers toys I have picked up, and it's just seeing his mean mug on on the comic page was a genuine delight to see.
Oh, okay, I found it.
Okay,
Mike?
it was really short, only
Mhm.
29 pages, and yeah, the Megatron part was the best.
Yeah, and I mean, especially because you have Megatron fighting the forces of Cobra La.
Yeah,
Cobra La. Yeah, Cobra La.
beast.
I got a hold of a
Globulus.
I got a hold of a free comic book day Conan. I haven't read it yet, but I got a hold of one, and I can't wait to read it because
So
I know it's original material too. It's not a reprint or anything. It's original stuff, and
Oh,
it's
you haven't read the new Conan?
not the free
Issue
comic
9?
book day.
Oh, okay.
But I know it's original material.
Is 9 or 10? Yeah, it is fully original.
Oh,
So
I
one
love
thing to
that.
point out with that book, by the way, for anyone who was not able to snag a copy of the Conan book, Titan Comics has put it out for free online, so you can go read it.
Yes, indeed. You don't need to go to anywhere else. You don't need to do nothing, and they don't really
You don't
require
have to
anything
sail
from
the
you.
high seas,
Yeah,
as they like to say at Midnight's
it's
Edge.
a really smart move because I will be honest, reading more and more, I'm really into this series.
Yeah, I
So,
took a look at that when they put the Zero one out and they had it for free, and I'm like, wow,
mhm.
this looks beautiful. I'm gonna check this comic out.
So
And
even though you have something here before I
Yeah.
was go ahead.
I was gonna bring up like one of the great things I am liking with a lot of the Energon universe stuff is a lot of the way they're making characters stand apart. I mean, at the end of the day, Thundercracker, Starscream, Skywarp, they are just the same figure, just in different colors. But you look at the mannerisms, the way they're each done, the way they're used in the books, they each have their own personalities. They have their own character to them. Starscream, whatever, he will backstab and betray anything to grab power. He will crawl his way to the top. But Thundercracker has never really been truly like convinced that the cause was worth it. In Transformers 8, he's kind of looking at these humans who pose no threat to them whatsoever, and he's wondering, is it worth? Should we really be executing them? Is this a worthy cause for us? Is this a good use of our time at the very minimum? Thundercracker's gone on to become in a big way a fan favorite, almost as big as to some people, almost as big as Starscream.
Ooh.
IDW, to their credit, did a lot to make Thundercracker a beloved character. There are now diehard fans because IDW did such a great job with him.
Nice.
And
Nice.
I'm happy to see, in a way, elements of that are kind of coming through into Transformers 8.
Oh yeah, dude, Transformers over 8. It felt like one of those like it was winding down, but it wasn't type of issues. I was just like, oh, and
It's just getting started.
I love hearing I love seeing what's going on with Soundwave. I'm like, this guy feels like he's gonna have some moments, very terrifying ones, by the time the second arc is through. I can feel it. I can feel it. Yeah, Christian with a Canadian 5 says Nick is tipsy. Time for a toxic joke. How do you know your girlfriend is dead? Sex is the same, but the dishes pile up on the counter. Cheers, buddy.
Oh,
I have heard that one before. Thank you, Christian. Yes, I have most definitely heard that one before. That's an old school one. So let's talk about one last thing out of that Energon. Well, even though Duke got out of his situation in Duke, there is a certain team being planted on the side. And Duke must not know about this other team being made on the side. I was like, ooh.
is a
Okay.
bit of an interesting thing, considering G.I. Joe as is already a covert team to
Mhm.
which all the characters are given code names because they're not basically their actions aren't really supposed to be out there for everyone to find out.
Mhm.
The characters, I mean, for basically all their actions, especially in the Marvel Comics era, uh, whatever actions they did, all that had to be classified until they could like one day like declassify that stuff. So the Joes are all already doing missions that where they're not supposed to get any sort of recognition publicly for their actions. So this is a bit of an odd twist to things, I gotta say.
Mhm.
That said, though, I could see this being sort of the a bit more of a Black Ops team that they're putting together.
Mhm. Mhm.
Baroness is already a powerful asset to have.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
So
No.
maybe we'll get Snake Eyes with her.
I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with Baroness. Obviously, it seems like there's gonna be a gathering of a team. So I'm wondering if there's already a book called A Real American Hero that's the non-Energon U. Will there just be a book on the Black Ops team in the Energon U, or will they do two Joe books? And I wonder how they would specify that versus Energon U versus non-Energon, because that could kind of be easily a little confusing. To be fair, how do you do that? And would otherwise would the book be the Black Ops team? And I'm sure you have a really good name to make up with for that. And Klobby needs to pull out, so we're gonna let him slide his plug out on the way. So Klobby,
Thanks, buddy. Sorry, man. I guess I got a rough week. So, but I want
you're good,
to
man.
appreciate. Thanks for having me. All my good friends. Great hanging with you as always. D Bud, Pablo, Castor, Nicholas. Appreciate you all,
Yes,
brothers.
sir.
And my dear friends in the chat. Thank you all for being here tonight. And yeah, nothing really to plug other than Saturday Night Star Trek tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Listen to me, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. 4 more episodes of Star Trek Voyager reviewed by number one and myself. And no Sunday Night Geekery this week because Mark, our good buddy, the chief engineer, is out on a road mission. So, but thank you all and appreciate you having me, buddy. Really enjoyed it. And have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Everybody, happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Well, thank
Oh.
you. Thank you.
Cool.
Yes.
All
Night,
right.
Chloe.
Take care.
Yeah.
All right, my friends.
Take care,
Thank you.
Klobby. Thank you, man.
Later.
Appreciate it. Good night.
D.
Oh yeah. Oh, let me get onto that screen, and then there was full. There was full. Bottoms up. Guys, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the Energon universe, but I mean, I guess Castor, you've read some Joe now in your time. Can you imagine what an alternative name would be for an Energon U book? Like, what would make sense to a point where it wouldn't be confusing, or do you think they would have to do a Black Ops style type of book where I guess the Joe team would be the supporting characters in it? What do you think?
Well, I mean, my mind's kind of going over to IDW. Just it's the obvious kind of other comparison I have because they were at one point I think able to have multiple books going simultaneously. So I suppose it's kind of worth looking over to see what did they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, yeah, but I guess we could just. Actually, it's a really good question. I'm not sure what they could call it, but this is a bit of an interesting situation for them to be in because they have the regular ongoing, which is just continuing that 300 plus issue run of the comics. So it's got all of that continuity to it. Meanwhile, they have this other side thing going on too. And so I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Are we going to keep two books going simultaneously? And I suppose the bigger question would be like, how's the audience going to handle having these two, in theory, two books going on that are totally separate continuities?
That's why it's gonna get really interesting now. Now that we're almost a year into stuff, it's gonna get really interesting to see where this plays out.
Actually the thing to point out is also all of this is year one. This is the year one buildup of all these series. With the landscape they've set up, now we get to see what they do with year two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, because starting in June, year 2 starts because we've had Void Rivals, Transformers, Duke, Cobra Commander, Energon Universe Special, and then obviously year 2 we had Transformers and Void Rivals as we know it continuing, and we had Duke and Scarlet. Sorry, not Duke and Scarlet and Destro. I meant to say. It's going to be interesting to see how those play out.
By the way, RJ Godzilla has it in the chat. It's probably gonna be one of those two names.
G.I. Joe Sigma or G.I. Renegades. It sounds like RJ must know some of the Joe.
Well, Sigma Team 6 was a series they did, and also they could just go with Action Force because that was the name the comic had gone by in like the UK.
Okay.
Because they didn't want to like go a real American hero for a book they're trying to push in the in another market.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there are a couple of possibilities they could go with.
Okay, well that's good. That makes me hopeful. So there could be less confusion. I like that. I like that a lot. So I'm thinking in the summer when Deadpool and Wolverine hits, maybe we should do another X-Men comic or two around that time. Maybe one of them should be, I don't know, Old Man Logan, Days of Future Past. Chat. If you want to put in some X-Men input on what stuff you'd like to see around July, this is your moment to kind of let us know. There's a few of you here. Let us know what you would like to hear. Read and talk about in the summer. As far as X-Men, we already did. Obviously, God Loves Man Kills. We did the Claremont Miller Wolverine story as well. I mean, what would you guys like to see? More Wolverine, more X-Men in general. I want to see what's in your guys' headspaces. I want.
Okay, so I think if we were to do something else, another good choice would probably be Weapon X, which is the original Wolverine
the runner-up. Yeah. Maybe that could be one of the ones we could do. Yeah.
We can compare.
Do that one.
I thought about this. We can compare. We have Weapon X and we have Wolverine Origins, X-Men Origins Wolverine. We can compare. Because I know there's a lot of things that change in the canon between those two.
Well, fuck it. And we had a vote originally about the Claremont Miller Weapon X. Let's just declare it in July. We'll do Weapon X. There you go. That's one down. Let's figure out the second. See, that was quick. See, look at that efficiency.
Yeah.
And I suppose if we do want to do more X-Men, maybe we should cover the that initial like 2-3 issues of the all new, all different. Get into the start. Also, get into the start of the Claremont run.
Huh.
Hold on. I'm really confused. I gotta admit. What do you mean all new, all different, and then Claremont run?
Okay, so X-Men ran for a while, and it was eventually canceled due to poor sales. And then I believe in 74, 75, they brought the book back with an issue with a comic. All new, all different X-Men. Or no.
Oh, they use those words way back when?
Maybe I'm thinking giant size X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's giant size X-Men.
Yeah, giant size.
There's
that terminology really
titles.
reached a 2015 terminology. That's I'm like, am I missing something here? Okay.
What am I thinking of?
All new, all different Marvel.
Oh, well, to be fair, there was all new X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Was a series of its own.
Okay.
No, but the other book I think we might want to consider doing, and maybe a couple of after that.
All right,
Giants.
I'm listening. I got it. Oh, I do know of this one's existence per se.
I love that idea.
Yeah. And then the regular series of X-Men, starting with issue 94, that
Yep.
was it. That was over the title was the all new, all different X-Men, and they had that for several issues after that changeover to this new team.
Mm.
And it
I'd
was
say good. Finish out.
well,
Debo.
I mean, Claremont was started writing it on that '94, but he wasn't plotting it.
Mm-hmm.
It was Len Wein was plotting it, but Claremont was doing the actual dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And just to pull that up, because that's probably why I'm thinking of it.
I like this. Oh,
Yeah, there
It is
yeah.
right there at the top.
Ooh.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So the term "all new, all different" was used once upon a time. Where Deadpool first showed up, and compare that to the beginning of Joe Kelly's. That is interesting to go off of, RJ, considering obviously that's the early appearances of Deadpool. That's something
But,
definitely
well,
to sit on as
the only-
well.
The only thing with that is it's also like 90 issues into the New Mutants,
Yeah.
and I do like the New Mutants, so part of me would almost want to like go into the New Mutants first, because like, oh my god, I love Warlock and I love Cypher, Magma, Robert DaCosta, aka Sunspot, Polaris. Some of their stories were like they fight the Shadow King. Like they've got some good books in there.
Now, can some of this good,
especially like the Demon Bear saga.
Now, could any of this stuff be read on its own merits for the sake of that Deadpool and Wolverine, or no? Do you feel like no?
I mean, we probably could just go ahead and jump into it, but it almost we might as well go that way. Just to pull up a couple of examples of some of the art from what I'm talking about. Bill Sienkiewicz for a while was doing the New Mutants.
Yes, I've seen some of the art for that, so it looks good. It looks really good.
And I think just to pull up one of the more iconic images from that is this big old like 2-page spread, this big old splash page, where they're fighting this psychic entity, this demon bear. It looks
nice. Oh, looks real nice. Oh.
Hang on, was it 93 or 98 for Deadpool? It was 98.
What do you mean 98 for Deadpool?
Well, his first appearance is
no, his first appearance is not. Well, no, he was in the X-Men 93. As far as existing, as far as comics, I don't know, but he was around 93 because he was in the I think he had a cameo or two in the animated series that I heard about.
Yep, I found
at the time. I think it was non-speaking. I can't verify on that.
It was 98.
So he appears in anything and he doesn't speak. Kind of sounds like a movie that I know.
So are we talking overall first appearance or just appearance in the New Mutants?
Well, no, this was Deadpool's first appearance. His first appearance. Yep,
He was a bit older than 1998.
Well, no, this would have been about 93, 94. It's issue 98. And this series
okay. I'm sorry. I think you meant the year 1998.
No, so this was also like I want to say 2 issues before like a couple of issues right before the series wrapped up.
Okay.
So we're like it's like right at the tail end. He sneaks in the first appearance of Cable, the first appearance of Deadpool, the first appearance of Domino. Liefeld does.
Yes, yeah, I know. Domino's another Liefeld creation.
Domino's costume makes me think something really, really weird. She's not wearing pants.
No, it just looks like she's not good at listening.
Yeah, if your skin is white and you go with really, really tight leggings like that, white is maybe not the best option. Have you ever seen those girls on the street that go really, really fat with the skin color tights? Yeah,
I do not know. I do not know.
some people
Don't tell.
got post-traumatic stress disorder from that. So yeah,
But I mean, yeah, no, we could sort of do that as a back to back if you want to do Weapon X and well, that's I was gonna say maybe we could do the two in the same day, but that Weapon X story is sort of like a 4 issue little series in and of itself. So that would just be an entire show into itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think we have our verdict.
yeah.
Just
I like it.
saying. I'm down. All right,
Wait,
gents.
when are we doing Hellboy?
Oh right.
Yep,
Ooh. We
How about
should-
October?
I'd
October.
say yeah. I think that's a really
Yeah,
good idea.
I'll be-
Yeah. I'm down. I'm straight up down.
man. I'm really
Well,
really anxious about.
I would maybe even say August because August just feels a really hot month up here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Maybe-
we if we can do at least, let's say, at 10 issues, maybe
Mhm.
you could get really into it, because there are some things at the beginning that are still kind of getting nailed.
Well,
Um,
I think
it
at the very least, if we could do that the Demon Seed story as sort of its own standalone episode,
Mm-hmm.
that way we get one complete story all together at once.
Oh, great! Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, dudes. Well, then, I'd say this should be the moment where we maybe call it a night. Kind of now get into the relax, winding down mode. So while there's a crowd here and people commenting, which I thank you for all for being here. And holy shit, the alcohol just hit me now. I can feel the. That's cool. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all your comments, all the member chats, super chats as well. Thank you. I heavily appreciate that. And it's nice to talk some Spider-Man. And shout out to Klobby for being here earlier. We're gonna plug our plugs on the way out. So we'll start off with Pablo. Oh, also LDG for getting the memberships. Thank you, LDG. Pablo, what's coming out on your side of the planet?
Okay, so I'm currently editing a video for Midnight's Edge, and I think I need to sober up for that. So that will be step number one. Step number two, I'm not really sure, but Midnight's Edge in Espanol. This is the second time that we actually got some Spanish on the show, so that's good, I guess. But yeah, we are doing that each Wednesday after message in the morning. So it's just jump in the channel and we talk about some random things. Like for some, there's a lot of international tension right now with Ecuador and Mexico. The president of Mexico decided that one of the most beloved TV shows of all time should not be shown in Ecuador because of that. So El Chavo del Ocho is out of the air, and that was an unexpected situation that I never thought will ever happen. And I don't know which timeline we are, but yeah, there's a possible war about the Chavo del Ocho, and interesting times. Also, I want to do some content about Magic the Gathering because I am enjoying a few things. Like, for example, there's a new set that is called Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and they have a new version of Grand Abolitioner that I will share the screen. Sorry, I'm a bit.
No.
Yeah.
It's all good, man.
So this is how the card used to look like, right? Really cool, right? An impressive night. And in the news said that I got this card
Yeah, my
because I
boy.
love it. I fucking love this art. This is the new version, ladies and gentlemen, the Grand Pin Politioner.
Oh, that's good art.
It's actually really good, right?
Oh, dude, that sucks. He's like literally got the guy tied up against a cactus.
Yeah.
Do you remember that thing that you sent me that they are doing with some games that you put the card and songs? I want to do something like that, but when I
Oh
put this
yeah.
card on the field, it's so dynamite, dynamite.
Oh.
So happy that I got for $5 this card. So I don't know. I just love this art. Sometimes the CSG garbage becomes really, really cool. Is maybe luck, but yeah, this art will live forever because it's actually awesome.
You don't want the Hatsune Miku card?
I hate them and I don't want to know about. Actually, there's an Japan exclusive set of cards for Cowboy Bebop that look really cool. And in the West, we are getting Hatsume Miku because we are in the 2008 era again. Yeah, I have no idea. But I just wanted
No,
to
don't
show.
worry. They'll give you the leak spin next.
Brothers, it's always great being around you, being able to talk with you guys, and Spider-Man is always great.
Oh, dude, it's been fucking awesome doing this. I think it. I mean, I'm sure this will be unanimous, but we should definitely do 71 through 61 through 80 this year rather than wait till another year just to say, hey, we're gonna get to 100. We're gonna get to 120 and 140 and 160
Dude,
and 180, and then we go all the world,
I I
Washington,
need a
D.C.
conversation for. No, I need a conversation for a number 121.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
if you guys know why,
Oh, I know.
Oh,
121,
I don't know. I might only go to 120.
by the way, is there something interesting in issue 420? Because I just want to know.
It sounds like we have a long Spider-Man saga ahead of us, and I had no idea Jonathan Conroy was here. What's up, dude? Thanks for listening. Or an Alterus as well. Thank you for being here. Vulcan says, "Another fun comic shop." Thank you, dude. Thanks for listening, man. RJ Godzilla as well. Thank you, man. I love talking shop and Spider-Man. Pablo, it's been good. It's been fulfilling and great to talk Spidey with you, sir. You have a great night and rest of your weekend. Caster.
folks, it's been a lot of fun, but unfortunately, we have to call it for a night. You can find me on my channel Ironcaster on Monday nights, where we are doing the Mech Pit chat to talk about all the big robot goodness out there. Big robots, Super Sentai, Tokusatsu in general, just all that cool fun stuff that, is not Marvel DC. I'm just saying. I should be on with the T-shirt historian tomorrow for the Week in Geek, where we will no doubt be having to talk about Wizards of the Coast, because they sure love to stick their foot into it each and every single week.
Yep.
Like, for example, that they've decided that, we're just going to not tell people if we're just not going to address AI whenever you guys detect that you put AI into our books. So buy them.
Buy them.
And then, of course, Tuesday I will be on with Pops and Stone Loki for Talk Hard, where we are going into all of the movie goodness. And in fact, for this week, we are going down into a little bit of a ditty known as the Temple of Doom.
Ooh.
That's right. Where we want to go see Kathleen Kennedy dance.
Caster.
I will rather see somebody dance on her great. Oh, sorry, I cannot say that on.
Caster, it's been awesome. Always good hanging with you. We have some great X-Men choices for the summer. It's going to be huge. Thank you for your time, for being here. You have a great night and weekend, sir. And you and I are always talking, so we'll be talking soon, as we always do. And Jonathan Conroy, thank you for your lurking, sir. And then Brad Young for $5 says evening, dude, or good morning, depending on your time zone. Well, I hate to be that guy, Brad. We're going to be wrapping up, but I will say the last 2.5 hours is worthy of your replay time. So please catch the replay of this if you're just coming in now. I promise it's worth it, sir. Thank you for the $5. D-Bud.
Hey, Nick. Thanks again for having me on. You know, I love talking old
Love
Silver Age
this.
Marvel comics,
We'll
especially
have to do this for Iron
storyline.
Man someday. We'll have to do this for Iron Man someday.
Do that, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll find me on in the mornings on wrenching at Midnight's Edge or WDW Pro, that Park Place. Tomorrow, Sunday, I'll be on wrenching for Valiant Renegade. And on Monday afternoons, I do that 70s rock fan. And he's not going to be on this Monday, but the following Monday on May 20th, he's planning to do a show for his, it's going to be his Canon Film Club Day. And the movie he'll be doing will be the 1990 Captain America movies, the TV movies.
Oh,
that were
nice.
Yeah, not the. I'm sorry, not the TV movie. But the had the Italian Red Skull. That one.
Yeah,
if you recall that. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Was that the one with Christopher Lee?
With the fake ears over the.
Yeah, it's got. I mean, the Red Skull in it looks more like a. He's got melted pizza on him, so
yes,
like that. Yeah, but he's supposed to. But he's an Italian. He's not German. So so he's going to be doing that on May 20th, and he'll have Austin, who's the fellow who wrote the Canon Film Guide books. Well, should plan him to be the guest on that as well. And he's got great information on all those Canon film. So that's something I'm looking forward to. That'll be real fun.
Well, D-Bud, it's been fucking awesome. Thanks for being here, sir. Love hanging with you. Always talking Spider-Man. And I can't wait till we talk more Spider-Man. And, we're going to have to set up some time down the line for some Iron Man. I think it's only inevitable, sir. Thank you, as always. And remember, when you got those walls completed, photos for the Gilded. Photos for the Gilded.
I could do the Ultraman stuff now, but the Iron Man, I'm picking up some more at the end of the month, so I might wait for this.
Yeah, wait that out, and then I like it. All right, guys. Last but not least, on my channel, obviously more Spider-Man next week on the Comic Shop Talk. Toxic Tuesday, Dazed and Confused. It's gonna be lots of drugs. I posted a video yesterday. Do check that out. It's about the Ghost Machine imprint with Jeff Johns. I'll have another video out Monday or Tuesday as well. And, of course, I'll be on Midnight's Edge After Dark Tuesday and Thursday. And, of course, on Comics Division's Monday Night Meltdown and Thursday Night Throwdown. So those are places to check me out. And, until then, guys, thank you for, once again, being here, chatting, drinking, lurking, whatever it is. I appreciate it. You all have a fantastic evening, and you all have a great weekend. And as we slide out on the way out,
Happy Mother's Day too.
Yes, happy Mother's Day. You're listening to Glenn Danzig, Trash Talk Barack Obama.
You're obsessed with horror and assorted dark imagery. Would you ever do